Good morning, my beauties and bees, and welcome to another installment of Live from the Hive. This is December 21st, the first day of winter, and I think it's the first day of winter. Regardless, welcome to the show. This is our last show before Christmas, so this is going to be pretty Christmas heavy. For this year for Christmas, all I wanted to do was be a mermaid, so I made it happen. Mermaid Brie at your service. But mermaids are going to be a theme today. And I decided not to darken the room for Cryptic Corner and stuff today because this mermaid needs sunshine. Anyway, welcome to the show. Good to see everybody. This is going to be like a holiday heavy episode too. I'm going to have like videos and stuff, but excuse me. I start the show off coughing, but I need my coffee. Aw. Thank you so much. Who's your buddy? Gifted 10 Hive Sign memberships, which gave Dr. Dino, Keeper of Dragons, David Larman, Spooky Bedhair, Robin Webster, Apocalypse Meow, Mark Reed, Dr. Osiris, and Miss Lemon, Cuddly Unicorn, all memberships. Good. Welcome to the Hive. Welcome to the Hive. You can now do the Bigfoot walk if you want to. Yeah. All you got to do is open up your emojis, and then Bigfoot will walk right through there if you click the right ones in the right order. Just like that. Now everybody can do the Bigfoot. Yay. So, yeah, I was not raised like in like a Christian household or religious household or anything, but we did do Christmas pretty good. I think my mom was really into Christmas. She's not so much anymore. It hasn't really been since my father passed away, but she really collects the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer kind of stuff. So she sent me the cutest picture of her Christmas tree. Let's see if I can pull it up and share it with you guys. I think I put it in here. No, it would have been in there. You were in the right place already. Hold on. Let's see. Well, I thought it was in here. It's not that big of a deal, Bree. Maybe it was in Sites. I bet it was in Sites. Yep, because it wasn't a picture of you. Thank you everybody for coming this morning. Hopefully everybody's participating in or getting a chance to view just a little bit of our marathon that we do every year. This is 8 years for Purple doing it. This is year 2020. This is year 5 for me. Yay! I've been doing this for a long time too. There we are. That's where it's going to be. Yeah. Here, I just want to show you. It's just cute. It's not anything fancy or anything. Let's see. I'll just do it like this. We'll do it in Cryptic Corner. Why not? Why not? By gosh, it's Christmas time. There we go. Yeah. And I'll zoom in just a little bit. So my mom has had these things forever. This is a Rudolph and then the Abominable Snowman. She's got a whole bunch of Rudolph and Abominable Snowman and Yukon Cornelius stuff. But I thought this was apt because it's got an Abominable Snowman in it. And maybe this is where it all stems from. My mom's obsession with Abominable Snowman from Rudolph seeped into me through amniotic osmosis. And that's why I'm a Bigfoot nerd. Can you see that? Is that big enough? Hold on. It's showing you this one over here. That's not even the one I meant to show you. There we go. There we go. Sorry about that. Let me make it bigger. There we go. Yeah, so this is where my Sasquatch fever starts. Right here. Right here. No doubt about it. So, yeah. Last night we hung out with Dr. Ben and made some awesome drinks. Well, one of them was awesome. One of them was kind of eek, but it was the medieval wassail. Basically just apples and warm beer, but then Will had one that was the recipe that was really good. Osmosis Jones, I remember that movie. But anyhow, let me just get back over because it's almost Cryptic Corner time now. It's already almost Cryptic Corner time. and I need to just break down a few things because what we got coming up here in the next week with the fundraiser, I will have a bonus episode of Live from the Hive on Christmas Day, on Wednesday. I don't know what all topics we're going to cover though, so we'll have to wait and see. I may bring some people on. I may do a panel. I don't know yet, but my slot is, I believe it's 10 a.m. to noon Central Time, which is going to be 11 to 1 my time here in Mountain Time, and and then 9 to 11 Eastern Time. Ben is doing his super early, and so is Steph. And then the Transpositions is doing a spot later in the evening on Christmas Day at 5 p.m. Well, the Transpositions doing one, so don't miss that either. And then of course Saturday we'll be back again with Live from the Hive, and Thursday we will have. We are doing the Transpositions. It's going to be kind of a different episode, though. Other than our regular news coverage, we're going to be hitting up some calls. So if we can get the call-in studio working, anyway, we got a couple days to chase that around. And then Ember is 4 a.m. on the 25th. So Ember is in the dead of the night for me anyway, because that's going to be 3 a.m. right? And 5 p.m. on the 24th. Geez, Ember, you really buckling down. All right, who is ready for some Cryptic Corner? Who's ready for some freaking mermaids? I'm ready for some mermaids, y'all. Let's do this. Welcome one and all to Cryptic Corner, the place where we explore the unexplained, the supernatural, the paranormal and hidden, the mysterious, the alien, the accursed, and the forbidden. I'm your host, Miss Bumblebee, and today you can see I am in my mermaid regalia. I am all mermaided out for today's episode. I did try to do the mermaid scaling pattern thing. I found like a tutorial on doing it. I even used the... Where'd it go? I don't know what I did with it. I had a scale pad. You take the fishnet and you put it over your face, and then you paint over it with your makeup brushes, right? With your brush. But I don't know if I just needed a softer material, because I was like, I'll just do it with eyeshadow. That should be fine. So I just used blue eyeshadow, and it didn't really work. So I ended up having to wash it off and redo my makeup over again. So you almost had me fish scaled all over my face, which would have been fun, would have been worth exploring. But hold on just a second here. Would have been a good time, but alas, I did not. I think I just lost a lash. Yeah, this costume's just falling apart. No, did I lose a lash? No, I still got my lashes. I don't know what I'm seeing falling in front of my face. I did not lose a lash. Can you see my flippers? Later in the show, you can see my flippers. Yes, if you stick around and make it all the way through, because we're doing something fun for Bree's Bestiary. You know, the freaking I decided, you know, that we were talking about this last night. This totally changed what I was doing for the Bree's Bestiary. So stick around and you'll see the 12 days of Christmas. Yeah. So, but today we're doing mermaids for Cryptic Corner. And it's going to pull up the wrong screen there. There's my Facebook advertising the show that we're watching now. Isn't that amazing? But I need you to get on the right page, because this is where I went and pulled the wrong one earlier. But it's all right. All right. So the first video we're watching is from the Missing Files. All right. The Missing Files is, yeah, exactly what it sounds like. A channel mostly about like if you look right now, it's about like missing people and like extreme videos and stuff, right? But early on, they used to do this kind of stuff with freaking mermaids. Who knew? Now, most of these mermaids we're going to recognize pretty early on if you're familiar with mermaid cryptid stuff. But if not, you're about to find out. So let's see what the Missing Files has to say about mermaids.
If you had to guess what a mermaid looks like, would you go with the Disney version or the monster movie Lagoon kind? One's a bit of a fantasy, while the other feels like a nightmare. From fisherman finds to mermaid skeletons, here are 20 times mermaids have been spotted in real life.
There will be
Space
no
mermaid.
times.
Not all mermaids are cute redheads living colorful lives under the sea. A recent video has surfaced featuring a dark and pale creature with an alien-like form that's making some people rethink what's going on beneath the waves. This intense-looking being has enough human-like facial features to hit the uncanny valley level where it seems like a person that's a bit off. But what sets it apart are the presence of gills coming out of its neck. The creature has a unique combination of attributes, with its skin branded by a smooth, silky texture combined with fish-like scales, giving it a total swamp creature vibe. Could it be related to that one monster from the Black Lagoon? Maybe this is where that story first came from, like a long-lost descendant rediscovered after all this time.
It's funny because a mermaid, like, sea mammals don't generally tend to have long flowing hair, right? Like, no sea mammal has that. So a mermaid, you wouldn't expect them to have long hair. But I want to show, now I'm not saying this is the exact same costume, but there's a lot of cosplay like this where people put on these fish people costumes, right? With weird contacts and have webbed hands. This is just creature fins is what this one's called. You can see that there's more than one of them too. So again, I'm not saying this is specifically the one that they pulled this video from, but it's the same kind of deal, right? Same kind of costumes. Same kind of aesthetic. So to claim that this is, and actually I think those ones are a little bit better than this one. This one looks more like it's
But interestingly, despite its humanoid facial features, the species does possess notably webbed hands, defying conventional expectations. If you want to know where it came from, the origin of this alien-like...
The one we just looked at had webbed hands. Dr. Tapioca Weasel. Yeah, real mer people would be like terrifying to look. Maybe they have like lionfish manes that make it that look like hair. Yeah, we'll go with that. Or a bristly like male fur seal mane. That's about the closest thing I can think of. It's like long hair. So like a fur seal, and the males have like bristle manes. Like they're not like soft flowing hair though. They're really stiff, bristly. Dr. Tapioca Weasel could not resist the mermaids. Yeah. He wants to be part of our world. Under the sea. I gotta do more puns.
Creature unfortunately remains shrouded in mystery, leaving observers to contemplate whether it emerged from the depths of the ocean or perhaps arrived from extraterrestrial realms beyond our stars. An Eastern sighting. Moving on from a terror of the deep, let's come up for some air over in Israel, where a spotted mermaid is making a splash. So, here's this footage circulating, and it's claiming to have uncovered some pretty convincing evidence that mermaids might be realer than the average person expects. It's the kind of stuff that has the internet spouting theories and scratching their heads in wonder. The home-styled video was shot.
Oh, hold on. We don't have to just watch their interpretation of it, though. I think we have... Oh, not that one. Here we go. This one. Yeah. This is actually footage, so...
Yeah, man, this is cool.
So these guys are in Israel, filming allegedly.
A seal on the rock down there?
That thing!
Yeah.
That's a weird looking seal, man. Are you filming this?
Yeah. How do you, where's the zoom on this?
Yeah, it's that button.
Oh, there, I got it.
That's no seal.
What is that?
Oh my god!
What is that?
The effects was decent until she dove into the water, and then the way that she faded away was not like, this water's dark enough that she would have just basically turned into a blur and then disappeared pretty quick. She wouldn't have just like faded out like that. But this was made for that documentary, Mermaids, the Body Found. And I mean, just get used to that, because it's going to pop up again and again in this. Well, we got talk going on. I want a mermaid tail. They make really excellent merpeople tails you can actually swim in. Yeah, I know. I want one. I'm not going to lie. We watched videos about it, or we watched like a dating show where they took mermaid classes the other day. It was Dating Unfiltered. You were watching that in the living room the other day. And they took mermaid classes, but I actually looked at the prices of the mermaid tails on like Amazon and stuff to see what kind of range you're looking at. And it depends. There's a lot of variety there. So if you want a mermaid tail, you can get one. But yeah, as for this is fictional. This is fiction. Comes from... Let's watch it again real quick, though.
Where's the zoom on this?
Yeah, it's that button.
Oh, there, I
right
got
here.
it. I got it.
It's a seal, man.
What is that?
Oh my god!
What is that?
Did you get that? Tell me you got that. Did you see that? What?
So, I do want to say that mermaids are definitely based on seal sightings. The Mermaid on the Rock sightings they got to be seal sightings. I mean, not, seal or sea lion. Yeah.
By two tourists doing their touristy thing, filming what initially appeared to be your typical seal hanging out on some rocks. Nothing too crazy there, but that's where the plot thickens. As they zoom in for a closer look, one of them can tell that something isn't quite right. For starters, it's that seal.
You want to be the first non-white mermaid? That's an ambitious goal. Yeah. Non-white mermaid at Wiki Wachi That's where you go watch the mermaid shows? Are you good at holding your breath? I would love it if you went and if you're like, you know what? I'm going to go be a mermaid, and you just did. I didn't even know that was an option.
The real deal or something else. They then think that maybe it's a woman sunbathing, but that's
I
not.
like this because you can see that the tail's not like the particular whale shaped. It looks more like it's like a ray shaped, like a stingray shaped.
Not exactly an ideal spot to work on your tan. The only other idea that comes to mind is that it's something that lives down below and came up for a bit of fresh air. Mermaids are still.
All right, so you notice that this person, even though that's known to be that video is from Mermaids, the Body Found, or whatever the silly documentary was, they didn't actually mention it.
So mysterious that it's not really known which sides of the ocean they hang around. Maybe this one was taking a touristy grip too and decided to spend some time on foreign beaches.
I mean, that'd be the Mediterranean, right? If it's in Israel. What would the sea be? Let's look at the map. Israel. And then we're going to go to map. Yeah, the sea that you're going to be looking at is the Mediterranean Sea. Let me show you. Okay, so if they're in Israel, Israel's right here. This will be the coast that they're on. Whoosh, this nice, long, smooth coast too. It's a really good coastline right here. You can see why people want to fight over this area. There's Gaza and West Bank and all that. But anyhow, if they were on this coast, this is the Mediterranean Sea. So that's what they're going to be. A Mediterranean mermaid. Now, I don't know if we can get down here and have a look at this coastline. It's probably pretty. Ooh. It does look about like they showed. So, yeah, high cliffs and then rocks down below. Lots of resorts and stuff. Sure. Okay. Let's see. No, they use these tubes they hold while they perform. They breathe out of them, but they have to be able to stay underwater with eyes open, no nose holding. You know, I can stay underwater for a pretty good amount of time. I love snorkeling. When I go snorkeling, I never come up. Let's see. Yeah, this one's not too convincing.
Beaches. But if we're going to be serious about getting a shot of a mermaid up close, it'll probably be better to take a gander from their level. So let's dive down into the ocean next. A Superior submarine screening. Just around a decade ago in 2013, a short video popped up that showed what looked like a fishy human swimming in depths well below where humans should be. While scientists were trying to figure out if it was a new species of aquatic mammals or a real-life mermaid, it did trigger some stories about a similar encounter in the same depths of the Lake Superior from 1782. The whole thing left travelers bewildered, and while locals explained it as the Merman of Lake Superior, Venant Saint-Germain, an adventurer, and his companions were camping on Pie Island, sitting between Canada and Isle Royale. As twilight fell on their small adventure, something mysterious crept up from the lake, about 75 yards offshore. Saint-Germain described this strange being as having a humanoid upper body that looked like a child of 7 or 8, complete with stunningly bright eyes, fully formed fingers, and a dark complexion. In fact, he was so scared of this mystery-looking child that he pulled out his gun to shoot just in case. But an old local woman intervened.
You're gonna shoot a kid swimming in a lake? What the hell, dude? Even if they are wearing a mermaid tail, you don't just shoot somebody for swimming. That's wild. Right, isn't that weird? It's from 1782, and he's like, yeah, in 1782, a submarine had a similar experience. What the fuck in Lake Superior? Because listen, let's go back. Listen to what he says.
From the lake, about 75 yards offshore. Bewildered, and while locals explained it as the merman of Lake Superior, venant Saint-Germain, of aquatic mammals, or a real-life mermaid, it did trigger some stories about a similar encounter in the same depths of the Lake Superior from 1782. The whole thing.
So they're talking about being in a submarine in 1782. I'm befuddled. What kind of submarine did they have in 1782 in Lake Superior? Why was there a submarine in Lake Superior in 1782? And I mean, the mermaid, yeah, that's an interesting part of the story, but the whole story, yeah, there's got to be more to it than that. Come on now.
Left travelers bewildered, and while locals explained it as the merman of Lake Superior, venant Saint-Germain, an adventurer, and his companions were camping on Pie Island, sitting between Canada and Isle Royale. As twilight fell on their small adventure, something mysterious crept up from the lake, about 75 yards offshore. Saint-Germain, the old local woman, intervened, warning him that harming a merman would unleash terrible storms, as these aquatic entities were considered gods and goddesses of the lakes. True to her words, furious storms raged for 3 days, stranding the campers. Saint-Germain's account became notorious for being so far-fetched, and in 1812, he was...
Yeah, so far-fetched because you claimed that it was at similar depths to the submarine footage. Yo. Was it a yellow submarine? Maybe.
forced to provide sworn testimony in a Canadian court. He said the woman described them as childlike, sometimes hairy, with a fondness for hiding between water's rocks. Maybe we need another submarine explorer to test if his story checks out. A fisherman from Kenya.
Hold on, we gotta address this, and I gotta brighten my thing up because it's too dim for me. There we go. That's better. There's too much sun coming from this side, so I look like I'm half in the dark, and I didn't like it. All right, so this footage that we just went over here with the window, hand on the window and the submarine and stuff, also from Mermaids, the Body Found, the 2013 mockumentary. So, yay. Oh, I love the record, the Edmund Fitzgerald. I used to be able to play it. I don't remember the tune to it. I would do the harmonica instead of singing because I cannot sing like Gordon Lightfoot for the life of me. I just don't have it in me. And he has such a distinct voice, so I would just play it on harmonica. Not in the key of A, though, which is what this key is. The record, the Edmund Fitzgerald, is a beautiful ballad. It's probably, like, it's one of the most moving songs that I can think of. Like, as far as having you feel like the dread of the crew. Oh gosh, gonna be talking with Edmund Fitzgerald. Oh yeah, rest in peace, Gordon Lightfoot. All right, let's move on to the next one.
Sailors of the high seas have reported mermaid sightings, but without scientific proof, these fishy tales have all been declared as hearsay.
Look. See the tail here? That's how you know that Israel mermaid was from the same mockumentary, because it has the same tail shape. Not the traditional tail shape of mermaids that you see in folklore, but which is the fluked. It's a fish tail, but it's fluked like a whale's. That's the traditional mermaid tail in folklore, right? At least in modern folklore. And they tried to make it somewhat unique for their mockumentary, so they made it this like stingray shaped or scallop shaped instead. Which is there is a sea mammal with a tail that's similar to the shape, which is the manatee. The dugong already has the fluked tail, but the manatee still has a flat paddled tail like this. And there is the correlation between mermaids and manatees that we're all familiar with. A legend lives on from the Chippewa down the big lake they call Getchagumi.
Folklore and drunken tall tales. While marine biologists and oceanographers have yet to confirm the existence of merpeople, this bizarre viral clip.
Yes, can I come be a mermaid with you, and we can just live in a sunken ship, tsunami, and come up for air and stuff, and stay down there until at least 2028, maybe 2032, just to be safe. We'll stay down there and hang out with the fishies. what I'll do is spend my time cataloging the life of the reef.
Clip has the internet captivated and hopeful. In the viral YouTube video, a seemingly still living mermaid appears to have washed up on the shores of South Africa in April. Just at a glance, viewers can see a half-human, half-fish-like creature lying on the sandy beach while onlookers gather to
Nicely
examine the
done.
sea oddity. So, is
All right, here we go. Now, there's a few things you'll notice about this one. That the place where the human part connects with the fish part does not actually seem to be connected. This is like this guy would have been like if this is a real mermaid, it's like a Frankenstein mermaid that somebody sewed together. You know, like when they put like a dog head on a monkey body or something like that. But yeah, this would be like taxidermied together, but this is like an actor, obviously, with their legs inside of a prosthesis with probably some, I want to say it probably has some pulleys inside of it set up to make it flap the fins when she wiggles her toes. Or he wiggles her toes. This one doesn't have any mammary glands though. So this is not a mammal, apparently. It's convergent, even though it has the same amount of fingers as a human. It has the 5 fingers. So that's the thing about this too, is where would this fit phylogenetically, right? Because it has 4 pectoral limbs, right? These are pectoral limbs right here. And these are pectoral limbs. And you can tell they're pectoral limbs by their relation to they call caudal fins. So, like, what's the deal with that, I guess, is all I have to say.
Is this thing for real or just an elaborate hoax? It's definitely no dummy, seeing as the apparent mermaid appears to be alive with its arms and fins still moving. However, nobody on the beach attempts to move the fantastical creature back into the water. Do merfolk have legal rights?
See, oh, hold on. This angle gives you another good example of how it has too many limbs to be a tetrapod with 5 fingers, right? Because there's the pectoral, caudal, anal fins, and here's its tail. So it has too many limbs to be anything on this on the mammalian spectrum
To move the fantastical creature
or a tetrapod at all. It's some kind of hexapodal creature if it's real, which means it would be convergent with tetrapods. Be convergent with all the vertebrates that we know. It wouldn't be related to any of them because its limb development would be divergent.
back into the water. Do merfolk have legal rights? Because these people would be in trouble if it turns out to be a regular dude in need of medical assistance. But unfortunately, the whole thing was never publicly resolved. Viewers of the alleged mermaid video were disappointed to see the clip end with no resolution and no real sources to reach out to. So, is it the real deal or a fishy fake? There's evidence on both sides of
It's definitely a fake. I mean, because what would this thing be? What would it be? What would it be phylogenetically? If this was a real creature, what would it be? It would maybe, because they say our ancestors, like you talk about Tiktaalik, and then you talk about going back to lobe fin fishes like the coelacanth. The coelacanth does have a lot of fins, but it doesn't have the digits, right? And then when our ancestors, when lobe fin fishes first came onto land, they had more digits. I believe they had 7, and we've reduced to 5 to move on land. But early vertebrates that crawled onto land, our ancestors of all land tetrapods, started off with by the time they got onto land, they had 7 digits and didn't reduce to 5 until after they'd been on land for a while. So a mermaid who would have diverged unless the mermaids left the sea and went back like a seal, or like a pinniped or a cetacean even, because cetaceans did come on land and then go back to the water. But if they did that, then they would have reduced limbs. They wouldn't have all these extra limbs. So this thing would have diverged before they came onto land, which means you would expect more digits than 5, right? That you'd expect more than 5 fingers on a mermaid that had diverged before the limb reduction that separates coelacanth from all other tetrapods, or from other lobe-fin fishes. Anyway.
The argument, so we'll just leave it up to you to decide. Mer creature. Here's a mermaid you won't be seeing in any kids' movies. In fact, viewers beware, because this one isn't for the faint of heart. Several viral videos from India have come out claiming to show off a mermaid, locally known as Jalpari. Most of their descriptions say that this creature was found on the banks of the...
She's pretty inconsistent looking, Jalpari is. Maybe Jalpari must be a shapeshifter to take all those different forms.
Ganga River and Patna, while others insisted it was spotted in the coastal state of Odisha. A Facebook post shared images of the supposed mermaid, stating it weighed over 100 kilograms, with hands and fingers resembling those of a man. The rest of the body, not so.
I love this one. This is definitely an art piece. It's not Juan Cabana. I couldn't find out I couldn't find the name of the artist. But I mean, you can see that's consistently, it's made of the same material from everything you can see on here. The crate's made of something different. The crate, it's not even a real crate though. It's not even real wood. It's like, I think it's textured foam board. And then this thing, and I don't think it's as big as, like, I think it's probably about this big, just from the looks of it. There's some physics stuff that tells me that, but also the width of this wire, for instance, and the drill holes, things like that, but and the nail heads. But this thing reminds me of the pug woman. Those titties, though. Yeah, I know, right? I had to blur them out on my thumbnail. I hope that thumbnail was baity enough to get people in here. Because a thumbnail with fish people tits on it is usually, H2O skinwalker, sea walker. Would it be sea walker, skin surfer, skin swimmer, skin swimmer? That sounds sexy though. Skin swimmer. Ichthyologist or a gynecologist. Suckle with the fishes. God, you guys. Mermaid puns. I love it. Bring it on. Let's hear all the great fish and mermaid puns you can think of. Pour some Buckley and rum down its gullet and bring it some seawater. Now, yeah, the main thing about this one is you can see this made from the same material. Now, it does have a cool function where it breathes, but that's because it's got this wire going to it to make it breathe, which we'll see in a second. But
so much. Another user claimed the creature was found near the home in East Medinepur, West Bengal. So, where did this thing actually come from? While most pictures of mermaids depict a fish-like tail and a human upper half, there are versions that...
Yeah, that's what it's reminding me of. Was it a pig? I think it's a pig person. It might be a pug person. Hold on. It might be a dog person. Yeah, this one. It's another art piece. Very similar. Let me see. Open in tab. And this showed up on like a lot of cryptozoology forums and stuff back in the day, saying, oh, it's a human pig hybrid with her litter. But it's in a museum. It's an art piece. Right? I don't think it's the same artist, but same vibes. Like making a grotesquerie of human-animal hybrid.
That have done the reverse with a fish head and a human
The
bottom.
triple-breasted horror of the Indian Ocean. Mitch McConnell, the mermaid. Ah. Motorboating. You want to motorboat those? They'd be flopping all over the place. Could you imagine trying to swim with those? Like, come on now.
It's gotten harder to say what's fact and what's fiction on the internet these days, but if you're willing to believe in the unknown, others will surely back it up with claims of their own. Or you could just go check out the movies. Movie star Mermaid. It seems like mermaids have a pretty clear side of the world they like to spend their time on, especially since this next one made an appearance over in Sri Lanka. There's a viral video making the rounds on social media, claiming to show a mermaid sighting on Mangalore Beach. But let's plunge into the real story behind it. The video features a woman with fish scales covering her lower half, and its high quality has gotten the spectators up in arms. The allure of
Yeah, it's high quality enough to know that this is a film. It's not someone's camera footage from their phone or anything like
mermaids,
that.
those mystical creatures of the sea, have always captured our imagination. So the idea of spotting one up close like this is like a dream come true for most fantasy hunters. But if you fell for this clip before today, we've got a bit of tragic news, especially if you're a true believer of fantastically deep swimmers. It turns out that this video isn't a real mermaid sighting. It's actually a
no shit. Really? None of these videos that you've shown so far are real mermaids. What are you talking about?
snippet from a film about ocean conservation, produced by a Sri Lanka-based YouTube channel back in June 2021. The woman in the video, though convincingly transformed into a mermaid, is an actress playing a role.
No, not convincingly. Again, because of evolution, we know mermaids wouldn't look like this. But they wouldn't even have 5 fingers unless they were sea mammals. And if they were sea mammals, they definitely wouldn't have lower fins or lower scales.
That explains why the camera footage was so high quality. The video might have sparked excitement and curiosity, but it's not evidence of a real mermaid gracing Mangalore Beach. Instead, it's a creative effort aimed
My
at
kids used to watch H2O all the time. I love H2O. Oh, I missed the theme song to it. But yeah, it was like when my kids were little, H2O was the shiznit. It's about like 3 girls that get mermaid powers. Good stuff for a kids show, and it's not produced by the awful companies that make kids shows like Disney and who else did bad kids shows, and mostly I think at Disney. But yeah, I did watch some of the Disney shows too that were probably the kids were probably abused during. Now that I look back on it, I used to watch Victorious. That's where Ariana Grande was from, and she was Cat on that show, and she was like a derp, but she's adorable.
raising awareness about the importance of preserving our oceans. Hopefully, their message came across. Mermaid in Hyderabad. Indonesia is a great place to see a lot of interesting things, and apparently mermaids might fall onto that list. A mysterious video claimed that mermaids were discovered on the banks of the Musi River after a bout of heavy rain soaked the city in a recent storm.
They are very CGI-like.
If you're not familiar, this river is like the cooler version of the Krishna River. It flows through the Deccan Plateau in India, creating a natural barrier between the ancient part of Hyderabad and the modern areas. It's not
Yes, it's a very pretty river. What does it have to do with the mermaid?
exactly a hotspot for attention, although that definitely must have changed once these shots came out to the public. But if that thing is really a mer creature, then it seems like the swamp thing is more realistic than the old cry of the sirens. Who would have guessed that mermen are fully scaled and as casual as koi fish? Well, probably a marine biologist, but they might also be the first to say that it's totally a hoax. We wouldn't want to spoil the fun though, so we'll leave it up to your imagination as to whether this is what a true mermaid might look like, or just another viral video aiming for clout. A high seas mermaid adventure. It's hard
Yeah, I don't
is
think-
more realistic than the old
I just don't think that now, as far as the features and stuff, I do appreciate that they made it look less like less like a human, which is important for a mermaid. For someone to convince me that something's a real mermaid, it would need to look less human and more marine. Like, it wouldn't look like a person. Nickelodeon, thank you, Spooky. That's the other one, yeah, that treated their kids bad. Their child actors. But this the CGI
cry
here
of
is
the
not
sirens.
great.
Who would have guessed that mermen are fully scaled and as casual as koi fish? Well, probably a marine biologist,
Look, because none of the environment is interacting with them.
but they might also be the first to say that it's totally a hoax. We wouldn't want
Yes.
to spoil the fun though, so we'll leave it up to your imagination as to whether this is what a true mermaid might look like, or just another viral video aiming for clout. A high seas mermaid adventure. It's hard not to make a big splash on the beach, but it seems there's been a bit of a buzz down in Veracruz, thanks to an unexpected guest. You see, pictures of what
I'm no ordinary girl. Okay.
some have been claiming is a lifeless mermaid started to appear on Mexican social media. But hold on to your seashells, because there's more where that came from. Some naysayers have come out to say it was all just a joke, a nasty prank with a rubber prop. That's no way to treat your fishy fans, is it? The story was told that a couple of beachgoers found it, called the cops, and suddenly an extraction team showed up. Without a fuss and with no questions asked, this elite team whisked the rubbery mermaid away to parts unknown, and that's what the official story seems to be. Some even suggested these people might have a connection to Area 51 across the border in the
You're
US.
literally showing the video of the people sculpting it. What are you talking about? This is people making it right here. These are artists building the prop that you're talking about, my dude.
Yes, but no one wants to push that theory to its inevitable conclusion, although the truth might be even stranger if you want to believe it.
You just showed the artist carving the scales.
Someone else has made the more probable claim that the prop is a leftover from the fourth Pirates of the Caribbean movie, On Stranger Tides. Looks like it either got lost or was on a quest of its own until it washed ashore to scare some of the locals. So, while it's no real-life mermaid, the mystery of how this movie relic ended up on the beach still lingers, leaving some skeptics demanding a closer look. Picture perfect mermaid. One day, a camera guy happened to be strolling along the beach, minding his own business. Then, boom, he stumbles upon what looks like a knocked-out mermaid. But hold up, things aren't as fishy as they seem. Sure, that mermaidish creature might appear convincing at
Can we say Juan Cabana?
first glance, even with its weird Skeletor complexion and that mannequin-styled stillness. But let's get real, if something kicked the bucket in that position, it'd probably faceplant into the sand, not pose like it's a creepy photo shoot. And here's the twist, it's actually legit. Well, sort of. Everything in that frame is a bona fide deceased something or other, but we can rule out a natural-born mermaid from any of those parts. It's more of an uncanny sculpture crafted by the talented, or should we say twisted, Juan Cabana. This guy creates his art using actual fish, human skeletons, and who
And
knows.
when we did Sea Monsters, whenever we do a Sea Monsters, Juan Cabana comes up because he makes the Fiji mermaids, he makes the little stingray people, he makes the wolf fish, with the baboon teeth, all kinds of cool
was
stuff.
what else? He's like a
Taxidermy.
modern-day Dr. Frankenstein minus the lightning, pitchfork-wielding mobs, and ominous windmills. Is it ethical? Hey, all we can say is that it sells. Someone
I
actually
mean, if someone donates their remains to him to make art with, I think that's probably all right. If I donate my remains to somebody to make art with, what's wrong with that? That's my will be done.
paid a cool $10,000 for it. But if you're really interested, maybe Juan Cabana can make a repeat display just for the sake of it. The inner workings of a mermaid. Back in 2016, there were these pretty bizarre pictures making the rounds on social media. They supposedly showed the decaying remains of what people assumed were a mermaid that washed up on a beach in the
Okay.
UK. They
Hold on, I think we got better pictures of this because they They wanted to blur it out, but it's just I keep closing things I don't mean to. That's the, we already looked at that. Is this the one? That's the mermaid body found thing. Yeah, that's the one. Snopes did a report on this. Let me watch that one. Here we go. Okay, so this one. This is a Fiji mermaid. Literally, like the way that they make a Fiji mermaid is a monkey top half and a fish bottom half. And it looks like they've went and added some stuff in here to make it look more organic. They may have caught a real fish and used some of its organs in the sculpture before they took the pictures. But yeah, that's definitely a Fiji mermaid, which is made from combining a monkey and a fish skeleton.
Definitely have the it factor, and by that we mean there are seriously scary snapshots. You've got this human-like creature with a fishy tail just chilling on the sand. The midsection, well, that looks like it's seen better days, but the head and tail are oddly intact. Paul Jones is the guy behind the camera that let these pictures out into the world, and they went viral.
It's definitely a Fiji mermaid, though. I mean, this is somebody's sculpture. There's actually an oddity show coming to this area in March that I kind of want to go to that should have stuff like Fiji mermaids and stuff. I would love to broadcast live from that. What's it called? Oddities. Let me look. I was talking to Ben and BB about it a couple days ago. So I know I saved it in there or shared it in there anyway. Give me a minute. We talk a lot in our little group chat, so I'm scrolling back through. There it is. Oddities and Curiosities Expo, El Paso, March 8th, 2025. So maybe you all can fund my visit there, and I will come at you live from on location, as much on location as they'll let me anyway. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? We could do that. Look at Fiji mermaids and whatever else they have in their little oddity collection. Well, let's look at that after we're done here, actually.
Hitting Facebook like a storm. Some people who saw them were dead set, pun intended, on this being an actual mermaid. Others, though, were certain it was fake, or probably just a seal that was torn apart and washed up. And you know what?
No, it's a Fiji mermaid.
The East Coast has its fair share of gray seals, so that's really not too...
Those are not gray seals, sir. Those are not seals at all. Well, I mean, they're fur seals, but they're seals in common name only. They're eared seals, and they are not closely related to gray seals. They're more closely related to sea lions. These are not gray seals.
Unbelievable, considering the circumstances. But it does feel more exciting to think that the mystery is still real enough that the answer could be unknown. Regardless, there's a lot of evidence out there that can go either way, but hopefully this UK creature is less disturbing than the one we're looking at next up from Florida. Fixed up in Florida. All right, hold on to your fence, because we've got some messed up clips coming from the American wetlands. The video mentions it's from Gators Pass on Florida's west central coast, and you might expect it's full of emotional outbursts and some colorful language, to say the least. But the most interesting thing to take away from the whole shoot is that supposedly this mermaid got shipped all the way to Australia for scientific study. Well, while we love to tell you more about the science behind what's going on with the watery discovery, we're sure to say that this tale ends almost the same way as one of our previous ones. As it turns out, this thing is not really a real mermaid. Nope, the mastermind behind this fishy business is the same artist from before, Mr. Juan Cabana. Seems like this guy really is into creating fantastical creatures using the remains of fish and other critters. Sea monsters and mermaids are just his jam. Now, let's get into some more misconceptions. The mermaid's hair looks suspiciously like a wig. all combed and clean. If this thing was floating in the ocean, that's totally not how its hairdo would look. Plus, the body seems oddly well preserved for something that's been swimming with the fishes. You'd expect more decomposition and maybe a fly or two. Oh,
yes.
And there's a lack of sand on it, even though it's supposed.
I feel definitely called out about the mermaid hair. This is obviously my real hair. I'll not hear anything about it. And yeah, the no flies observation works, but there's other things about this that become more obvious too. Same thing about the other one that was crawling up the beach, is that Juan Cabana's stuff has been treated. It's taxidermies, and you can tell by looking at the surface of skin if it's been taxidermied and treated. Even if you lay it on the beach.
Supposedly washed ashore. We'll be honest, it looks like his last work may have been a tad more believable, but we've still got even more worth believing in.
At least it's got boobs, though. That's what everybody comes to mermaid videos for. They're like, I want to see some mermaid boobies.
So let's see what really did happen in Australia next. Fish or friends? Down in the land down under, the wildlife is practically what the country is known for. It's not hard to believe that with all of these animals running around that there wouldn't be a few mermaid mysteries to find. People have been yakking about these mythical beings for ages, and while many have
because people love titties, like a lot. Like let's not downplay it or underestimate how much our species is enamored of mammary glands. They're like the best kind of glands on the body, right? The human species, like of all, I know that I know that there's actually glands that are more important, like salivatory glands, for instance. You wouldn't be able to eat without those. You'd have to dip your food like a raccoon. But mammary glands are pretty sweet, and they're required for feeding babies. I don't know how that connects to being attractive. I guess being able to feed babies is psychologically important to us. Yeah, nitties. I can't believe Nitty's not here. This has been a titty-full episode. We've had like so many titties, and there's been no nitties.
Named mermaid sightings, few have managed to prove their existence. Some say they're bad news, causing shipwrecks and storms. Others think they're guardian angels of the ocean, saving sailors in distress. Now, let's get scientific for a second. Our planet is basically a water world, with 71% of its surface covered in H2O. We humans are 60% water, and some critters are practically water balloons with legs. So theoretically, mermaids,
like most land animals, have about the same ratios. There's a golden ratio of surface dwelling, fully terrestrial water to other material. It's gonna balance out. Of course there are high end and low end, but the water balloon animals are usually things like jellyfish, right? Jellyfish are living water balloons. They don't have legs. They don't have tentacles. Are you calling the tentacles legs?
AIDS could be a thing. Maybe some kind of evolutionary in-between kind of creature. Experts have taken to the sea, or rather, dove under.
I love absinthe. Is that how you make it? So, Sumami just did the Fiji mermaid recipe. 1 ounce, 4 roses, bourbon. 1 ounce, bourbon court. 8 years, rum. 1/2 ounce passion fruit syrup. 1/2 ounce grenadine. 1/2 ounce lemon juice. 1 dash Angostura bitters. 10 drops of St. George absinthe. Okay, absinthe. Woo. Gotta get that green fairy in there.
Under it to see if they can catch some on tape. And this is what they found. Looks pretty real to us. Of course, looks aren't everything, and each clip comes with its own set of critics. The U.S. National Ocean Service poured cold water on our mermaid dreams in 2012, stating there's zero evidence they exist. But some still hold out hope, especially with clips like this. The shot came from a man who said he spotted a mermaid off the coast of Queensland in Australia's Great Barrier Reef.
That is literally someone swimming with a mermaid tail now. Come on. It's a person with one of the tails on.
So, mermaids, real or just the stuff of salty legends? The debate continues with our next clip, the Cebu mermaid. Is this evidence of a mermaid or a sea monster? A lot of the creatures we've seen so far have all been
This is Juan Cabana.
called mer creatures of some kind, but it's interesting how few of them look the same. This fellow right here looks to be more fish than folk, but it definitely has that human-looking monster feeling, if you catch our drift. It also sort of looks like what happens if you dried out a fish for a bitter snack later down the line. So, what's it doing over on a grassy floor instead of at the bottom of the ocean? We don't have all those answers. The person
I do. It's Juan Cabana.
who clicked the picture is still trying to figure out what exactly they caught too. Although they're mostly wondering if they've stumbled upon a legit mermaid or just some fish-fangled monster. But one thing's for sure.
So, but why aren't you just like all the rest of them by Juan Cabana? You've been like, oh, this is Juan Cabana actually, but this one you're like, nah, it's a mystery.
And it's that they've got a seriously strange critter on their hands. Mallorca mermaid with Spanish style. We're traveling the
go.
world for these strange sights, and it's brought us to the ocean coast off of Spain. While mermaids or ocean dwellers like these are often dismissed as mere legends, a fisherman from Mallorca, Spain recently captured a sighting that's making waves, so to speak. In this extraordinary footage, the mermaid reclines on a seaside rock, seemingly
she, though?
sunbathing, her graceful tail gently swaying. It's almost too good to be true, and plenty of others on the internet felt the
Because it's not true.
same. This extraordinary sighting has ignited a whirlwind of speculation
And she's got that same mermaid, the body found tail shape. Look at that. And skin color too.
about the existence of these mystical beings. What would a real-life sea princess look like if not for the
AR, that's beautiful. The one and only. The one and only answer. Oh my gosh, I love it.
enchanting creature we see in the video? Could it be that mermaids are more than just the stuff of folklore and fairy tales? These captivating images leave us all wondering about the secrets the depths of the ocean might still hold, and we're getting close to the end of it. Mermaid with a message. Mermaid
Okay.
Melissa,
This is
often
just
dubbed
somebody
the
in a
real-life
costume.
mermaid, has shocked people around the globe with her enchanting underwater appearances, captivating millions of viewers on YouTube and gracing live press and television broadcasts. Beyond her mesmerizing aquatic performances, she carries a powerful message. Let's help save the oceans before all creatures become mythical. Not a bad story
Okay,
for
but she's just a person though. I didn't know this was a job option that I had.
someone who's always swimming. Her remarkable journey as a professional mermaid and ocean advocate
Holy shit! How long have you been able to become a professional mermaid? How long has that been a job? I bet that El Paso doesn't even have any professional mermaids right now. I bet I could be the first professional mermaid of the upper Rio Grande. What do y'all think?
has been documented in Mermaid Melissa, the true story, a compelling documentary that delves into her life, her passion for marine conservation, and her mission to raise awareness about the fragile state of our oceans. As a representative of the deep connection between humans and the marine world, Mermaid Melissa serves as a symbol of the enchanting beauty of our oceans and the urgent need to protect them. Through her captivating
I want
performances,
fish to swim around me like that, though. I'm gonna move to Miami with Tsunami, and we're gonna be mermaids. We'll be the best mermaids in Miami. I'm down. Let's do it.
and advocacy work, she encourages others to join the cause and take action to preserve the oceans and the incredible creatures that call them home. While she might be more of a person than a sea creature, she's definitely a friend to all fish in our book.
She's a person. I mean, it sounds like she's doing good work, but she's a person nonetheless. This is supposed to be 20 times mermaids have been spotted in real life. This is a cop-out.
Books. Mermaid Melissa, the true story, offers a glimpse into the life and mission of a modern-day mermaid who seeks to inspire change and ensure that the wonders of the ocean remain a reality rather than a fading dream of myth and legend. A Minnesota mermaid. This next clip takes us
All right.
back to the United States. This time in
And
Minnesota.
we've been here because this clip has been from all over. It's been from Chernobyl and from the Pacific Northwest coast. Been from a few different places. But it's from a movie. They like collect a specimen from the side of the river.
Here, you can see what seems to be a green tail in the water. An Australian tourist claims to have filmed it, but we don't know the exact spot. Paranormal enthusiasts are all over the scene, telling everyone to keep an open mind about what's going on. They're wondering why everyone would go through the trouble of faking something like this, and to what extent. Really, that's about.
We've seen this like at least 3 times on this channel before with different claims attached to it. Yeah, girl, I known about it for a bit. I'm sorry I fail you as a friend. I saw a doc called Merpeople or Merfolk or whatever on Netflix or Prime or something. Yeah, the people really into it say Merfolk. Miami Mermaid, Michigan Milkmaid. That's where it gets a little weird for me.
Out as good of an argument as we're gonna get. The video ended up on a YouTube channel called Paranormal Elite, and they're saying the creature in the footage looks like those mythical mermaids we've heard about. Mackie thinks it's legit proof of mermaids. He's even heard tales about fishy-tailed humanoids back in Australia, but he was still surprised to see this coming out of a freshwater lake.
I thought Minnesota had Iceman. The Minnesota Iceman, right? That's your all's cryptid? Dude frozen in ice. Monkey man guy. Like this. We need to talk about the Minnesota Iceman sometime. Does that sound fun to you guys? Let me run a poll. See if you guys want to do the Minnesota Iceman. So yes and no. There you go. All right, so I started a poll, so I'm still trying to figure out what we're gonna do.
Doesn't that break some kind of fish code?
Marathon, not
The
fawn.
big question remains,
Jesus.
do mermaids hang out in Minnesota lakes? Maybe they can when they're out visiting their freshwater cousins. Or maybe they can even walk on land when they decide to put their tails away for a while. So, if you're ever in doubt of mermaids hanging out, maybe consider you're hanging out with them. An arm's reach. Here's the story of some people who had no interest in catching a mermaid. In fact, they were just trying to do their job on the open sea. Until, bam, they pulled up their net and saw an arm. But not just any arm. It was a webbed hand reaching out from the net like it was saying, "Howdy there." Now these fishermen aren't used to this kind of surprise, so they handled it as well as you'd expect. That's to say, they freaked out a bit and let the net slip right back into the ocean. Talk about a missed opportunity. Did these sailors almost catch themselves a real-life mermaid? Not even they know for sure, but here's the thing. Most scientists aren't buying it. They say it's an unlikely find. About as unlikely as finding a unicorn at a petting zoo. But we want to give at least a bit of benefit of the doubt. There's still crazy theories out there. One called the aquatic ape theory, suggesting there might be some human life.
Please remember how racist the roots of the aquatic ape theory are. Just keep that in mind. It's important to remember that, because the aquatic ape theory is just a way for European populations to feel like they're special, I guess, because they think they came from aquatic apes. I don't know why. It's really weird.
Like relatives who evolved to live underwater. Scientists are quick to deny the theory, seeing as how there's no physical or fossilized proof, but then again, there's a lot we still don't know about the ocean's dark mysteries. Remember the giant squid? People used to think it was a myth too, until we actually found
People have been actually finding giant squids washed up on beaches for centuries now, so that's not exactly true. We just weren't clear on what they were, where they lived. We didn't know much about them besides that they washed up every now and then.
was alive and swimming down in the deep sea. So maybe just maybe, mermaids are lurking out there as well. After all, history's got its fair share of mermaid sightings, and some of them turned out to be pretty fishy
I want to be a burlesque mermaid. Yeah, I can do burlesque now. I have boobs now. Yay.
business. The skeleton solution. If we're getting into the nitty-gritty about whether a mermaid is a real creature, you'd expect there to be at least some bones we could go off of. Would they leave behind people bones or fish bones?
Now, this is like a globster that we're looking at here.
A set of photos might be able to answer that question because of what some say looks like a mermaid alien on social media. These strange remains washed ashore in an Australian beach, and it's got everyone baffled. The pictures come from a marine biology Facebook group, and now they're storming the comments online. Bobby Lee Oates, the one who first found this oddity while walking along Keppel Sands Beach in Queensland, described it as having a human-shaped skull with an elongated jawline and some hair that's kind of like a cow or kangaroo. She estimated it to be
like a seal? Might it be a seal?
Around 6 feet long, and said it had a tail or limb of some sort. Animal specialists chimed in, and one of them from Zoological Society of London thought it might be a small cetacean, which is a type of marine mammal.
Which is the type of marine mammal. Cetacean just is the clade that means whales and dolphins. Those are cetaceans. So it could be a small, like, porpoise. That makes sense. The shortness of the head. How am I at holding my breath? Pretty good. I grew up with a pool, so I'm actually, when it comes to swimming and stuff, I'm efficient. I probably get myself back in shape, but I don't know why my audio keeps dropping down like that. It's so annoying.
So, maybe the answer is still out there, but we need more experts to rise to the surface before we figure it out. A Jamaican tale. There's some wild footage from Flatbridge in Jamaica that's making a stir in the seafaring community. It was captured on camera, and at first glance, it looks like someone's just having a relaxing swim in the river. But here's where it gets interesting. If you squint really hard, you might just spot what seems to be a fishtail.
What?
Now, hold on to your captain hats, because this could be some actual documentation of a real-life mermaid.
In Jamaica?
Right? Well, don't get too excited, because just like our other bits of evidence, as soon as this mysterious mermaid-like creature realizes it's being watched, it darts away faster than you can say.
But, like, we know that people wear these things and swim in them. We know that they wear the mermaid tails. What?
Fish out of water. These elusive fish, people sure don't like being exposed. So what's the story behind this fishtail? Nobody knows for sure. It could have been a bona fide mermaid taking a dip in the river, or even just a regular person enjoying a swim. If you're down in Jamaica, take a look for us and let everyone know.
You're going to have to send me down to Jamaica to investigate, dude. Can you find that?
Race of the Mermaids.
I like this
for
one.
Our last clip, we'll be looking at
this
a
one's the
flying
best
drone that flew over the big blue ocean. It's a great view, but suddenly our camera catches something bizarre. We're talking a whole bunch of these weird fish-like creatures cruising through the water, like they've got somewhere important to be. But the people who saw the footage say these fish are kind of freaky. In fact, are they really fish at all?
Not when you look at them in the air.
Mermaids?
Look at it. That's not freaky.
The drone pilot was definitely curious and moved in for a closer look to see what was really happening. But guess what? These aquatic mystery beings were like, "Not today, drone." They zipped past the camera faster than you can say CC.
Now, they're trying to make a big deal about the way that splash hits, looking like arms going like that when it hits the water. But if you look at them in the air, they're just fish. They're just fish. See? You can see them right here. They're just fish shaped like fish when they're in the air. There's no limbs, no mermaid tail, nothing like that. It's just a fish.
Fish at all? Or a gaggle of mermaids?
Look, you can see right there. Yes, they're fish. All you have to do is pause.
The drone pilot was definitely curious and moved in for a closer look to see what was really happening.
Fish.
But guess what? These aquatic mystery beings were like, "Not today, drone." They zipped past the camera faster than you can say sea secrets. And just like our last video, nobody's got a clue about what these
I think they're
creatures
too,
really are.
They seem too small to be dolphins to me. I think they're just fish. I'm not sure what kind of fish because it's too blurry. But I also didn't see a dorsal fin when they breached. Which fish lay their dorsal fin down, but cetaceans obviously they can't. I mean, I could be wrong. They could be dolphins, but they look like
are they some
fish
new
to me.
species? Secret mermaids? Well, that's the million-dollar question. And right
There's
now,
a boat.
it's got everyone wondering if mermaids are real and whether we'll be able to prove it. Until next time, we'll just need to keep gathering more clips of fish up close to find out.
Just ask the person in the boat what they were. All right. Yeah, so this channel usually doesn't do a lot of this stuff. It usually does stuff like this. Like, yeah, 222 videos on Not My Dad Help Me. But yeah, this is a little bit off topic for him, I guess you'd say. But yeah, that's the missing files. I had another clip of mermaid that's allegedly mermaids that I thought was really funny. This dude out on a boat.
We got another one over here. What are those?
Cetaceans. Those are dolphins, literally.
What the fuck's going on?
Or maybe some little
On each
toothed
side of the
whales.
boat? What are those trails called? What's something swimming fast underneath that water? Something swimming real fast underneath that water. I hear 'em.
It's
Where's
definitely
he at?
cetaceans.
What the fuck is that noise, bro? What is that noise? Where are you?
Ah! That'd be so cool.
This is crazy. I heard it. I heard it. I hear it.
Definitely whale sounds or dolphin sounds.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That's crazy. That's nuts.
He's trying to say it said jump for me, but it didn't. What else do we got? We already looked at that. I think we're about done here. We debunked that. And that one. Here's that clip of the people. I actually went and watched this just to see what it was all about. Where they, yeah. Yeah, my mermaid makeup wasn't this savage. And then you had, yeah, that one, the mysterious mermaid skeleton in Queensland. But I think that they're probably right about that being a cetacean. And then, yeah, we looked at that one. Fiji mermaid. And then we have Mr. Juan Cabana's website. If you're interested in seeing more of these monstrosities, Juan Cabana has all the creatures you can think of. Look at that. Look at those weirdos. All you gotta do is take it out and lay it on the beach and boom, you got yourself a mermaid sighting. But he makes a lot of stuff. So, yeah. All right. So, when it comes to Cryptic Corner, when it comes to the videos that we cover here, I don't know. Was that good? Did you like that one, or did we debunk it just too damn easy? Half of them were from Mermaids: The Body Found, which was the documentary or mockumentary. I think it was it History Channel that put that out, or Discovery? One of them that it's a mockumentary. It's not real. And then half of them were Juan Cabana creations, and then a handful of them were not actual, or were known hoaxes or whatever. Like, oh, this is a person in a costume. One was just like, yeah, this is a woman who dresses up as a mermaid. I was a little disappointed in this list. Maybe when we do mermaids again next time, we'll find something better to dive into. But there were some of these that were good. I like the one with the jumping. They were fish. I could tell they were fish, but at least it was something different. It wasn't just like a sculpture or something, or bad CGI. Like, bad CGI mermaids are just a dime a dozen. And that last one I showed that was separate from the video with the guy in the boat freaking out about the dolphins, thinking they're selling him to jump. Anyhow, yeah, so you tell me what you think. Do you believe in mermaids? Do you think that any of these mermaid videos were convincing? Do you think I should leave the mortal world and go live as a mermaid for the rest of my days? Let me know in the comments down below. All right, and also, please remember to be kind, take care, and we will see you next time. All right, I guess I'm going to keep the mermaid get up on the whole time because I don't feel like changing between sets, but thank you for sticking around. So I will be doing the next segment dressed as a mermaid as well. But it's going to be fun, so much fun. And it's going to be a long bit too, so stick around. I will be back in like 2 shakes with getting weird with some alien drones or demonic drones. I don't know. They're drones. Lots of conspiracies about them. The people are freaking out over drones, and we're going to sink our teeth into it. So I'll see you all in just a few minutes. Hello, hello, my beauties and bees. It is I, your humble host, Bumblebee, getting weird with it in full mermaid attire from our Cryptic Corner episode that just wrapped up. I choked myself, but we did mermaids. But today, we got to cover something freaking topical here that I meant to do last week and then forgot because, well, I'm fucking busy right now. But we have to talk about it because people are freaking out about drones in New Jersey. Drones in New Jersey. I'm not even kidding. People are having a panic attack about it. Let me show you. This guy is going to jump all over the place, and then he's going to appeal to Tucker Carlson. We're looking at this guy named Tyler Feller. Now, this is mostly like a ministry channel kind of thing, but he's got a few videos about the drones that I need to deal with, that we need to deal with. And actually, we're going to watch the live coverage that he did right here. Alien tech or demonic tools. All right, and this starts about a minute. This looks like this Terminator music intro, though. That's the Terminator. Here we go. And I'm going to jump ahead.
Welcome tonight to Faith Friday.
Y'all couldn't even hear the Terminator music. Hold on. Let me rewind it. Let me hear, so you can hear what I was talking about. That's the Terminator song, right? Anyway. Here we go. It's freaking time. Go full drones.
Hi, my friends. Welcome tonight to Faith Friday, and there's certainly a lot going on
Friday.
in our country that we need to be talking about. We are in a situation where the entire country's basically being, given the runaround as it pertains
because people have drones. Oh my gosh, they're so scary.
to this invasion of drones. And as far as I can tell, this is our country, it's our land, it's our airspace, and we need to be in a situation where we're able to talk about it. And so I want to talk about that tonight in a very, very important way. If you don't mind you putting in the chat
Yeah, this is live, by the way.
where you're
Yeah,
from,
it's
where
like
you're
a
watching
side
from, and let
chat
me know
right
if you've
here.
seen any drones where you're at.
But I digress. Fake It Friday. We're at Sacrilege Saturday.
Okay. Liz, welcome to the Feller Fam. Glad to have you.
Okay.
And yeah, these drones are just something I think is so important that we are going to need to be talking about. And I'm glad that we're able to do it tonight.
I appear when someone says hot topic. I'm trying to make it stop, but those Beetlejuice curses are tough to break. I love Hot Topic, though. I have some jewelry somewhere from Hot Topic. I used to go there every now and then. My shorts, my trans flag shorts with the hearts on the butts are from Hot Topic.
It's no surprise. There's a series of mysterious drone sightings across New Jersey and neighboring states, raising concern, prompting investigations by local and state federal authorities. These incidents have led to various theories, including potential connections to foreign adversaries, advanced surveillance operations, even extraterrestrial.
That is what we're here
demonic
for.
Influences, and that's what I want to talk about tonight on
Extraterrestrial and demonic influences. That's what the Hive loves. Do you guys love when we have people making extraterrestrial and demonic claims about mundane things like drones? I love it so much. And they panic about it. These people are in full panic mode.
Faith Friday. The discussion tonight aims from a Holy Spirit, faith-filled perspective to provide an overview of the current drone sightings, explore the prevailing theories, and examine the responses from authorities and the public. Since mid-November 2024, residents of New Jersey have reported numerous sightings of unidentified drones, particularly during the nighttime hours. Okay, let me know if you've seen them.
Okay, so before we get started, it's weeks away from 2025, right? From the year 2025. It is time, with all the drones and stuff that we have, with commercial drones, with residential drones, like privately owned residential drones, and military drones, it's time to divide up the airspace. There needs to be, from like, I don't know, like 10 meters to, or depending on what city you're in, but up to like 1,000 meters or so will be drone fly space. Then above that'll be airplane fly space or manned space. And then above airports and stuff, you can have different regulations. But they're gonna have to do something like that eventually. It's gonna happen. Get used to seeing drones flying through the sky. There's gonna be drone lanes soon. We're gonna have drones everywhere. They're gonna spell out advertisements for you. It's the future. Drones aren't going anywhere. They're not disappearing. They're not going anywhere. And that's what we're seeing now, is that just drones are becoming more accessible, easier to program. You can program them to spell things, to make freaking dragons fly across the sky, to make giant spheres. That's why these people are nuts, because they're like, oh, they're too big. They're too big to be commercial drones. They're not too big to be commercial drones. There's you can have like sheets spread over drones. I saw a Snoopy on his doghouse drone is bigger than me. Is almost as big as a small car. Yeah, you could make it, or you could have multiple drones together at night that look like one big drone flying together because they're programmed to stick together. They can literally make a dragon or a giant sphere or a UFO. All right, let's go, bud. I just want to get that off my chest first.
These drones have been observed hovering over residential areas, critical infrastructure, and sensitive sites such as military installation and the Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster. Some reports describe the drones as being as large as SUVs, flying in formations, and exhibiting advanced capabilities. Governor Phil Murphy acknowledged the sophistication of these drones, noting that they go dark the minute that they're spotted, making them difficult to track. Despite the widespread concern, authorities have stated,
"You're right. We need more efficient pizza drones. It's time. It is time for the pizza drones. The 2025 will be the year of the pizza drone. Make it sell. Whichever pizza company gets me a pizza drone first will be known as the official Hive pizza." So that's an honor that I don't just hand out easily. So I think that it's important that you guys compete for the title. Not you in the live chat. I'm talking to the pizza places. I'm talking to Little Caesars. I'm talking to Pizza Hut. I'm talking to Papa John's. I'm talking to Domino's, CC's. I'm talking to who else am I talking to? Papa Murphy's is one we had back home, but I don't know if they have that here or not. Casano was another one they had back home. But I'm talking to all of them. Get me the pizza drone. I don't care what drones do as long as they can deliver me food and weed. Yeah, that's what people are freaking out about, but drones are just where things are headed. Companies are going to use drones to do deliveries. Citizens are going to use drones to, I imagine that citizens are going to be able to use drones to deliver stuff to their friends and family too. Like you'll be able to drop a package off at grandma's house with your drone instead of having to hire the post office to do it or a carrier to do it. Just thinking it out loud. I just, my prospect of the future with drones. I mean, obviously weight's going to come into play too, what you're delivering. But
that there is no known threat to the public. The FBI, Department of Homeland Security, and the New Jersey State Police are actively investigating the drone sightings. The FBI's Newark field office have requested public assistance, urging individuals with information or footage of the drones to come forward. Naval weapon stations in Colts Neck, New Jersey, reported multiple instances of unidentified.
And these are the same people that don't understand, you have no rights to privacy in public, right? Like, people are going to have drones with cameras on them now. It's just the way it is. There's going to be drones up there in the sky all the time. You're always, when you step outside, you're going to be recorded. That's just the way it is for now on. Yeah, it sucks, but that's the way it's going to be. And there's really no way you can regulate that. You have, cause you're able to record in public spaces, right? And if something's visible from public spaces, you can record it, whether it's through somebody's window or in someone's backyard, right? If you can fly your drone up there and see it, you're going to be able to see it. They're good for missing person searches, allow searchers to see from the sky, but close enough to see details, right? And they can also pause in the air without burning a bunch of helicopter fuel. They can hover in place if they find something. Yeah, missing persons. When there's been a big pile up of a big traffic pile up on a highway or such, they can use those to search search through the wreckage for survivors. That kind of stuff. Also going into fires, using drone use by fire departments to go into like burning areas and check for survivors, things like that. Great. Drones are the future. They really are, but they're going to be everywhere.
By drones entering its airspace. And despite these breaches, officials assert that there is no evidence suggesting that the drones pose any threat to national security or public safety. And as far as I can tell, people in this chat, people in my friend group, myself, feel like that's just not a great sentence. Oh, we don't think it poses any threat. Well, you don't even know what the heck they are. And so, yeah, we're a little concerned about it, and we want to know what's going on.
We do know what they are, though. They're drones. With cameras. I'm sure they got cameras on them, but they're drones. We know what they are. Shut up and stop making up stupid conspiracies.
Has addressed the situation, denying claims that the drones are linked to foreign adversaries such as Iran. Initial assessments indicate that the drones are not from a foreign entity, and that there's no evidence, they said, of a mothership launching drones towards the United States. The unexplained drone activity has led to various theories and speculations among the public, including if this is for foreign surveillance, including Congressman Jeff Van Drew suggested that the drones could be linked to foreign adversaries conducting surveillance operations. It could be a military exercise, which is kind of what I'm hoping. Is this local police chiefs? They're saying we think that this is military drills that are now being
later, Brian.
Copycats, and other people are saying, is this an alien invasion, or is this related to some sort of spiritual entity? Is this demonic? Is this angelic? And these perspectives lack. Is
it demonic or is it angelic? I guess I can end this poll. In that poll, you all do want to talk about the Minnesota Iceman. I'm going to start a new poll. And we're going to say, are the drones angelic? Demonic? Alien? Or, there we go. All right. There's my poll. All right. So you pick your answer on the poll.
Empirical evidence, it does reflect the public's attempt to make sense of the unexplained phenomena. And so what I want to do tonight is
fearmonger.
Go through
what he wants to do tonight
from different perspectives.
What he wants to do tonight is called fearmongering. You'll see.
Perspectives about what you think it is. Put in the chat what you think it is, and I'm going to watch this report. I haven't watched it yet. Amy Height sent it to me. She said it's crazy.
What's so crazy about it?
It's crazy. Those were her.
It's crazy because you have a conspiracy brain.
Her exact words. And so since she said that, I'm trusting her. I'm going to play it. Amy, you said it's crazy. You better be right.
Or what? Are you threatening Amy? Amy didn't have to give you any video, young man. You need to apologize and say thank you.
Advisor and assistant to the president. John, good to have you with us. What do you make of the reaction? A lot of people were unhappy with that comment that you made yesterday and felt like you were, telling people that they were nuts or that they didn't know what they were seeing with their own eyes.
No, not at all, Martha. That's the farthest thing that I would ever do. I was simply reiterating.
Now, this is Fox News, so they're going to put their own Fox News flavor on it, where this blonde lady, who is, your typical Fox News anchor, is going to insist that there's something nefarious about people having drones and flying them around.
The FBI and what the Department of Homeland Security have relayed to us about what they've been able to corroborate, and we haven't been able to corroborate everything. I said
and just watch the screen here on the right while we're going through this.
Of the corroborated sightings have turned out to be piloted aircraft. I didn't say all of them, and what I said was those are the ones we were able to corroborate.
So every time that they were able to confirm what the people were seeing, it's been an airplane or a helicopter manned. People are just in hysteria mode at this point. You remember, mass hysteria. We had to talk about the Monkey Man of New Delhi, the Mad Gasser of Mattoon, the Mothman of Point Pleasant. All of these are examples of mass hysteria where one person didn't know what they were looking at and didn't know what they were seeing, reported something freaky, gets into the public mind. People start seeing other things and thinking they're seeing the same thing. People start reporting hoaxes. It becomes a big snowball effect. And people start reporting every light in the sky when it comes to UFO mass hysteria.
There's certainly ones that we have not been able to, and we don't know the answer to it. And I strongly...
That's because the military cannot pin down every person with a freaking drone and a pair of goggles standing in their backyard flying their drone around the Garden State. They can't pin down each one to every person. It's just like it's like radio controlled airplanes. We don't have any FCC trackers on those things. Maybe we should have. I don't know. Maybe that's what needs to happen. Drones should be required to have some kind of tracking on them. I don't know if that's the solution, but it's not aliens and demons.
I strongly recommend that for folks that are seeing these things and documenting them to share that as they can with Department of Homeland Security and the FBI. All right, well,
let's do that. Let's share it with you right now. Let's put up this photo. This is the close-up one. Here we go. This is in Bernardsville, New Jersey. So, John, are you able to see this photo?
No, ma'am.
It's just a drone. Just somebody's drone flying over a house, flying over property. Nothing ominous or nefarious. People have drones and they fly them around. Why is this surprise? We've been doing it for years now. Are people just now looking up? Did the internet go down in New Jersey and people finally went outside and looked up? Said, hey, all of a sudden there's people flying drones around. Let's say that's weird. The people that are so terrified of the government or foreign powers spying on them, what the hell do they really think that they have or do that would be of interest to the feds? Well, they're doing something they don't want anybody to know about, right? They're up to something. It's probably something gross, probably like a fetish or something they don't want the government to know about. It's like, if you can see my second story window, you can see me rubbing myself with peanut butter. They're finally with Jesus spying on them, though. And Jesus spies on all of us, just like Santa Claus. When you're driving a drone, does it tell you your altitude on your remote control display? I think you wear goggles, right? You wear like a viewing thing. It's like a VR kind of situation, and it has a monitor like on the inside of the goggles. I think that there's like readings and stuff that come up, like altitude. I don't know if it has longitude. I'm sure some of them have longitude, latitude. Some of them probably have a GPS tracker built into them too, so you don't lose your expensive drone. But these are available commercially. You can like go buy one.
You don't have a monitor there?
No, actually, I turned the monitor off. It distracts me, so I didn't see it.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Well, you'll have to take a look at it after, but I can describe it to you. It is large. It has a white bar that goes through the middle. The right-hand side is half lit up white on the top and red on the bottom. The other side is green.
So the Fox News reporter doesn't know how cameras work. This is not capturing a bar of white with two bars on either side of it. These are just spherical. This is when you capture something moving, right, over a longer exposure time, you get this effect. So that's not actually what it looks like. These aren't what the lights actually looked like. You can actually see that the lights on the right changed color during the picture. They went from, actually it looks like they caught them down here at the bottom when they were white, and then it turned red, and it blinks red and then goes back to white again. You can see that right there because it's kind of like the Doppler effect, you know. It catches it blinks back and forth, white and red on this one, so it's going white, red, and it catches it white, red, white, and that's it. And this side's just green.
So what would that, you know, you're a former military.
I mean, okay, Amy, I'm giving you points. That does look crazy. So I'm giving you points. That does look crazy. Jennifer Swain, Cat Joy, thank you so much.
Looks crazy because you don't understand how photography works either. It's just a little drone, my guy. Just a little drone flying over. Somebody has a drone and they're flying it, maybe in their backyard, and their neighbor's like, oh, look, a UFO, and took a picture of it and sent it into the news channel. Sent it into Fox News. Literally. That's how these dumb things get spread out. Let's see. Mine can cameras. Bree is talking about freaking Metal Gear Solid drones. It depends on the drone, whether FPV or a traditional remote, but most have some kind of altitude display. All the ones I've seen are the ones I saw were like the one my mom's office has that had like the goggle things, and then the local fire department has one with goggles, like a nice one. I know that you can get little bitty ones. It's just like an RC, with no visor or anything where you can see what it sees. But sometimes you just have to fly up and just start taking pictures. It depends on what you got. Yeah, Jesus will forgive you for sins. Drones never forget that you met a dude in the park for a handy. Well, girls gotta hustle. Yeah, there should be a law against looking in people's windows with drones, even if you're looking from a public airspace. That's the thing too. That's the sovereign citizen argument, right? The people like that'll stand on the street and record your house, and you call the cops on them, and the cops can't do anything because they're recording in public spaces, and all you can do is close your blinds and hope they go away. I think voyeurism laws cover that. I'm not a lawyer, though. No, if you're in public spaces and so you can see somebody from a public space, you're good. You can record them. There's no laws against that anywhere. I don't think there can be. I don't think there's any way to. That's such a hard law to enforce. I want a drone for Christmas now. Yes, Spooky. You need a drone. How many trained crows do you have in your army, Tsunami? The cool thing about crows is they'll train their kids for you. 2 main crows, but something like 5 show up. Yeah, you need to train your crows to be... Who needs drones, right? Tsunami's got her crow army. So Tsunami's going to be the crow mermaid. Crow maid. The crow maid? The bog witch. Flotsam has to gather everyone together to bring them over for breakfast. Sometimes it just shows up. Sometimes he shows up with Jetsam. That's not weed growing. It's tomatoes that you see on the drone cam. Of course it is, John. You bought yours for spotting deer.
Much for those amazing super stickers.
So when Jesus watches me poop, is he watching from inside the toilet or from above? Is he looking down on me, or is he up in the toilet watching from the backside, seeing how things are coming out?
Look crazy. What is that? Why is this happening and we don't know what it is? Eric says it's Iran or China.
We do know what it is. It's a drone, dude. It's a drone.
Fine. I feel like that.
It doesn't have to be an Iranian or Chinese spy drone. It could be domestic, could be commercial, could be military.
Makes a lot of sense to me. Cat Joy says, I feel like it's demonic. Maybe it's China. I think it could be too.
Demonic? Maybe it's China. The Chinese demons. It's Chinese demons. That's what it is. You can tell because it's red, white, and green. Ooh, red, white, and green. Whose flag's red, white, and green? Is this Italy? Are we being spied on by Italy or Mexico? Oh, it's a Mexican drone.
Definitely doesn't feel like there's something about it in my spirit that doesn't feel right. And part of the reason I don't feel right about it is because of the way that they're just not being forthright and telling us what's actually going on.
They are. You just like, no, it can't be that because that doesn't feel like what it is. It can't be just the neighbor kids with their drone flying it around. Nope, that can't be it. It has to be something nefarious.
Very person yourself. You're an admiral. You're the White House National Security Communications Advisor. I'm sure you have seen some of these images. So what is that we're looking at?
It's difficult for me to tell you, Martha. We don't really know. It is possible.
This is the guy from the White House?
Yeah, because they don't have ways to track residential drones. They don't have ways to track little Jimmy flying his drone around in the park, flying it over town. They don't have any way to track that. The government does not, so they can't say this is little Jimmy's, model blah 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 drone that he bought off Amazon on June 8th, 2023. They don't have the resources to track that. That does not mean that it's demons. That does not mean it's Chinese spies. It does not mean that it's freaking aliens.
On the news saying we don't know what it is.
That some of these things could be...
They're not saying they don't know that it's a drone. They're saying they don't know whose drone it is or what it's doing, which makes sense because they don't have a way to track drones. My dude, stop fear-mongering.
Commercial drones.
This is Joe Biden's spokesperson telling the American people on Fox News that we don't know what this is.
Did you not just hear the word commercial drone? Did you not hear that? Are you listening? Commercial drone. What does that mean to you? Does that mean he doesn't know what it is?
How many of you have a weird feeling about this? Put a 1 in the chat.
Because you're fear-mongering paranoia. This is the rapture, sure. Tyler, this is the rapture. You're all getting raptured next week. Congratulations after Christmas, so that everybody can open their presents first. Then the rapture will come. You'll hear the trumpets. For fuck's sake.
How many of you have a weird feeling about this? Just put a 1 in the chat. Again, we're going to approach this tonight on Faith Friday from a faith-filled perspective.
From a faith-filled perspective of drones.
Developed for commercial purposes.
What about remote control boats or remote control cars? Do you have do you have a faithful perspective on that? Remember we watched a couple weeks ago the guy with the Furby, the Orthodox guy from back in 2001 or something. He was talking about how Furbies had demons inside them. Do drones have demons too?
Purposes. It's possible that they could be owned by private citizens.
But why don't we know, John? That's the point. Why doesn't...
Okay, so these people, this is the Fox News audience, right? These are libertarian people. And they want to know, damn it, why you can't track private citizens' private property that they are flying around. They want to know why we can't track that. These people have no consistency. We don't want the government in our business, but we want the government tracking the drones of private citizens flying around. Make it make sense. Make it consistent. Can you be consistent? It's like Anarchic Fox says. Dude's going to call for more regulation for drones than for guns. Exactly. Actually, the rapture happened last week and no one is missing. None of us got in, huh? None of us made the admission cut. Nobody alive in the year 2024 is getting raptured. Raptured by drones, absolutely. Well, there is an issue. Under current law, American drone owners, whether private or corporate or whatever, have to register their drones with the FFA, including ways to track it. No, they don't. I've had several drones and never had to register anything. I don't know where that's coming from, but I bought my drones at Walmart and didn't have to register them. I bought drones at Walmart and I bought one at Dick's and didn't have to register any of them. the fact that we can't figure out whose drones they are means either they're illegal drones or they're not American. They're probably residential. They're probably privately owned. I don't think that they have to be not American. I don't think that they have to be illegal either. Maybe in New Jersey they have different laws, but yeah, I know lots of people with drones, and I've had friends who have drones. We go out to the parks and stuff and fly them. We fly them over town and take pictures. There's always drones flying over like the football games and stuff, and they're privately owned. So I don't think that there's any reason to suspect that they'd be illegal. Is that in New York State, or where are you getting that law at? Because yeah, you can buy these at Walmart. You can buy them at Dick's. You can buy them on Amazon. You don't have to register them with anything. Yeah, call the cops on me, Spooky. Take me down. Take my crime organization down. My drone mafia.
The United States government. No, it seems silly. I mean, it feels a lot like the Chinese spy balloon. It was like, oh, we don't know. It's not a problem. Then we watched it go all the way across the country, and we kept hearing, we're not really sure where it came from until we saw it popped and, floated down over the ocean.
That's not quite how it went. We were pretty honest with the American people that we knew it was Chinese, and we knew that where it was going to go, and we were pretty comfortable.
They're always like, hey, shoot them down. Like, yeah, I'm going to shoot it down so it falls through someone's living room.
We're not quite honest. Look at her face. That's the face I'm making. I'm like, that is not what you were quite honest about.
Given the analysis that there wasn't going to be an intelligence threat by it, and we shot it down once it was over safe waters and wasn't going to hurt anybody. But back to this. Why don't we know? I wish I could tell you exactly why we don't have an answer for you here in the afternoon on the 13th of December, but I can tell you that we are working on it very, very hard to know, because we want to.
Okay, I think I see the difference between between what Ember was talking about, what I'm talking about. Okay, so if they're above a certain weight, they have to be registered. Drones that weigh more than a half a pound have to be registered. Drones that weigh more than a half a pound and less than 55 pounds. Drones flown for recreational purposes under Part 107. Yeah, so all the drones that I've ever had were light enough that you didn't have to register them. They're just, but maybe this heavier ones you do. I just looked up the FFA regulations on them. How to register your drone. Do I need to register my drone? Here we go. That's what we're going to look at. All right. Hold on. We're going to look at this real quick because it's important to the conversation. Federal law requires all drones under 14 CFR Part 107 to be registered. The limited statutory exception for recreation requires registration of all aircraft weighing more than 55 pounds, 250 grams. All registered aircrafts must have their registration number displayed on the exterior. Yeah, and it gives you, here's the registration information to learn more. Now, the drones that we're talking about generally don't weigh that much. They generally aren't that big, like residential drones. And you can have a whole fleet of them programmed to fly together. But they have to be big enough to require that. And most of them are about the size of a softball. You ever see the ones where they fly up and make spheres and stuff with? The ones that they do the art with, the ones that we're seeing in New Jersey now, they don't look like giant, like commercial drones that would like deliver packages and stuff. They look like just like little camera drones.
are working on this very, very hard. We are now applying. There was an interagency conversation this morning about this topic, where we have now decided to employ some additional technology to New Jersey and some additional personnel to try to get a better sense of what these things are. And as I said yesterday, Mark,
How could we not just fly some military?
Well, I don't know anybody who had Ember. I didn't know anybody who had a drone that weighed enough to have to register it. They're just little camera drones. The ones that they're showing in these videos are like little camera drones too. They don't look like big drones that would weigh 55 pounds or whatever the regulations they're talking about there that you'd have to register it for. But yeah, I mean, if you had to have registration for them, for the little ones, I mean, we used to put them in Easter baskets and stuff.
Up there and capture it. How come that's not an option? How come it hasn't happened already? Am I going loco for Coco myself right about now? Because how is that even a thing? I'm losing it over here. I'm losing my mind over here because we should have already been able to capture it.
Martha, as soon as we know, we're going to.
No, I hear you. This is shocking. I got to tell you, this is shocking. Okay, and I'm not the only person who feels this way. This was happening at Langley a month ago. Okay,
man, apparently people are really spazzing about these, though. People own drones now. It's just normal. They're like, no, this is troubling. It's like you're worried that people own drones and are flying them around. Yeah, I don't think the little drones wouldn't do more. I mean, they're lighter than a bird, so I don't think they would do. You know.
These people are not crazy. They're seeing these things with their own eyes. This is not normal behavior. They are not planes that are coming in one direction and they're heading into Newark Airport and then they're landing. Okay, we spend $824 billion on defense. We have the greatest intelligent capability in the world.
But you don't want people all up in your personal private business. So make up your mind, Fox News. Do you want the government to track everything you do when you have a vehicle or drone moving outside of your property? Is that what you want for the future? You need to decide.
So how can you stand there and say to the country right now, gosh darn, we just don't know what these are?
Because I'm not going to lie to you or to the American people, and I'm not going to say we know something when we don't. And we would never, ever stoop to think that an American citizen was crazy or nuts because of what they're seeing and what they're documenting. We're taking that imagery seriously, and we're doing the best we can to analyze it, and we encourage people to come forward if they have additional sightings and imagery. We want to do the best we can to triangulate it, but...
Well,
Yo, we are not this stupid. I feel like we're just getting the runaround, because anybody else feel like we're getting a run? How can we, the most advanced military system in the entire universe, in the history of the world,
how come you're asking why our military isn't monitoring people playing with toys in their yard? It's so weird to me. Coming from people like on the right, especially coming from these personal liberty folks, wanting the government to be monitoring their toys.
Not be able to, be in a situation where we can just figure this out.
He's explained a couple of times that he believes these are commercial drones owned by private citizens that aren't registered either because they're too small, or like Ember said, they're illegally flying them if they're within that with that weight capacity. I think over 55 pounds, you're not even allowed to have I think you have to register it as like an aircraft after that. But from what we looked at with the law there, so they're either the government knows they're either the ones that are small enough that they're not gonna have to be registered, or that they're illegal ones that are being flown by private citizens. There's no reason to believe that they're extraterrestrial, that they're demonic, or even that they're foreign. It's just, this is just so weird. It's people with money playing with toys.
I'll be gosh darn if I'm going to stand up here and make up stuff that I don't know to be true.
We don't want you to make up anything. Do you know and you can't
Fucking
say?
tell her.
Can you tell me that?
No, I'm telling you, Martha, I'm telling you, we don't know.
Let
We
me
can't
ask you this.
corroborate every single sighting. Some of them we have, not all of them, and we're working hard to do that. We know people are afraid of it. We know people have concerns.
But they've said, okay, so these ones we figured out they were aircraft, like literal planes and helicopters being flown by people. These ones, if we look at the images of them, they look like they are small privately owned drones. This one, I don't know what it is. It could be a privately owned drone. I'm not sure. And then that's where they are right now. Jesus. Team Jesus, yes. I mean, the U.S. government has been on Team Jesus. Why wouldn't they believe in boogeymen?
Have those same concerns.
Yeah, because
But
they're
what I
flying over
can
your
tell
house, and it sounds like there are
course.
motorcycles landing on your roof.
Of
so
course.
let me ask you this: one, person who watched this online said they think it's a Pterodynamics Transwing Drone XP4, which is being developed by the U.S. Navy as a recon and logistics drone capable of picking up and dropping off packages between land and moving ships in high seas and winds. They're suggesting it's an American company. We asked the company.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case, if this was some kind of military contract commercial drone research or maneuvers that they were testing.
They said we can't speculate on the origin of the drones that are flying over New Jersey. So is that an avenue that has been inspected? Is this a private company that is practicing something? And wouldn't they have to clear something with somebody to have this kind of activity?
It could very well be, as I said, these could be commercially developed drones of some kind.
Why not just take one down and figure out what's going on?
Well, the idea of taking something down, again, you want to worry about public safety. First of all, we don't have enough conclusions to take that kind of a policy action. But let's just assume
And you want the government attacking your toys when they're flying above, when you're flying your toy around in your backyard. You want the government attacking it now? You want the government shooting missiles at your toy drone? Is that what we want?
minute, Martha, that we did. I mean, you're not going to want to shoot something down where it could hit somebody's house or hurt somebody.
Well, the Coast Guard says that there are 30 of them following one of their ships in the ocean. So would that work?
I mean, again, we have to develop the policy options.
Now that's interesting. The Coast Guard, who's the Coast Guard's reporting that to Fox News? Or is this tying back to the what's the old footage that came out a couple of years with the UAPs? With the following the Coast Guard around, but those are situations where, yeah, those are situations like the Foo Fighters, right? Like during World War II, that and pilots have been reporting that phenomena for a while, with like seeing spherical lights following them since World War II, maybe World War One. Definitely World War II, though, that they'd report like spherical lights following them with some kind of, it is some kind of authentic aerial phenomena. I don't know what it is. I don't think it's intelligent. I think it's something probably along the lines of like elves and ball lightning and St. Elmo's fire, that kind of stuff. Some kind of electrical phenomena in the upper atmosphere. That's what I think. I don't have any proof of that. I know that there's all kinds of cool stuff that goes on up there. We don't know a lot about some of it, and some of it we're just discovering new information on. So, yeah.
It's based on what we know we're dealing with here, and we just don't know enough to make those take those kinds of actions. But my goodness, we're going to do everything we can to find out, and we're going to share as much as we can. I understand it's frustrating for folks.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
Is it Fox News's job to be like or is their job literally to fearmonger, to be like, oh, we're scared of drones now, to get everybody, get grandma and grandpa all fired up? Because there's not only people that watch like network television now, or like older people, well, for the most part. But regardless, to get people all worked up and nervous about drones. They need something to scare people.
Frustrating for us. We want to know what
does President Biden say about it?
Oh, she just asked what President Biden said. I am incredibly frustrated right now watching this. I mean,
why?
Cat Joy's saying, "Come on." Debbie's saying, like, Biden hates America. I don't know if Biden hates America as much as his brain's turning into mashed potatoes. I don't think he even has a brain, honestly. Amy Hyde says he's totally gaslighting us. I mean,
He's sad. You just don't like the answers he's given. He's like, okay, some of these are commercial drones, some of them are manned aircraft. He's given answers. You just don't like the answers. You want him to say it's Chinese spy balloons or that it's angels coming down.
that's what I'm saying, Pinky. We got to wait for another month and 7 days to figure out what in the earth is going on. Tell me the military doesn't know what these are? Exactly.
He also has tasked the team
It's mass hysteria, D. They're just looking up, and anything they're seeing now is scary.
Look into this and to be energetic in doing it to try to get answers. He saw some of these images yesterday. He has talked to his team, including his top leaders, including at the Defense Department. And
have you called in like AI experts or said, like, why don't we ask Elon Musk what he thinks, or brought in outside experts?
We're working really hard right now inside
Why? Who cares what Elon Musk thinks? Like, have you checked with the most incompetent person on Earth to see how what he thinks about these? Remember when Elon Musk was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do this to rescue those people stuck down in the mines," and I mean he's so dumb. Like, people act like he's some kind of genius or something. He's not. He's made smart investments in smart companies like SpaceX and Tesla and stuff, but he's not innovating the products that they're making. There's engineers and scientists and stuff working on that. He's just the money. He's the money guy. He's not the science guy. He's the money guy. People seem to misunderstand that. So why on earth would you ask Elon Musk about these drones? Like, what could he possibly have? What on earth could Elon Musk possibly have to contribute to this conversation?
Agency, and certainly supporting the FBI and DHS as they investigate this. And if we need to have additional conversations with people outside the lifelines, we certainly will do that. But I want to make sure
look at these. These are not
investigators and what they're doing.
These are like, pay attention to the drone footage they're showing. These are not big drones. Look at these. These are the little ones. These are the ones like you can buy at Walmart. These are the ones that, like I was saying, you do like less than the half pound that you can fly without having to register them and things like that. These are the little bitty ones. The ones that are, maybe a foot across and super lightweight, made like super lightweight plastic. They're not. You can tell, especially by how fast they're like zipping around and stuff. There's some of them that are even smaller, like softball sized. That's like the ones that they make the art with.
Weird. I mean, people, they're low. They fly fairly low, some of these. It just, I think, is amazing that the White House has no idea what's going on. I think that makes people feel really unsettled. In New Jersey, they sent out an intelligence.
That's literally people's neighbors, lady. Why?
Bulletin, I should say, issued in December of 2024 with recommendations for encountering downed UAVs. And it says a downed or landed drone should not be approached. It says request hazardous materials response unit or local hazmat team. And then it says request the nearest bomb squad. Do you agree with those recommendations if one of these things comes into someone's house or lands in their yard, or they have to deal with it?
Yeah, look, I haven't seen that directive, but all that makes perfect sense to me as a former military person. If something like an aircraft of any kind lands in your backyard or close to you or your family, call the authorities. Don't approach it. You don't know what it is, and you don't. Yeah,
if anything crashes in your backyard, any kind of machinery or anything, I wouldn't approach it. You don't know if it could be a bomb, if it could have fuel that's leaking out of there, some kind of gas. I'd stay the hell away from it and call somebody from the military or whatever to come get it, because It's better than risking your own safety or the safety of your family.
Don't know what kind of fuel might be on board. You absolutely should just call the authorities. Make sure you report it. Don't go near it. Don't touch it. You don't want to get hurt.
Why are you shaking your head, Tyler? Why is Tyler shaking his head like that's horrible? No, Tyler's going to go out there with his double barrel and pump it full of lead. Is what's going to happen. He's going to open fire on the vehicle. What are you going to do if you're going to approach it? It's going to be that scene from Men in Black where he comes out there and gets his skin stolen.
One last question for you, and it's in another.
Do you guys think it's possible that we could be getting invaded by aliens? I didn't even think aliens were real. I always thought that they were spiritual. I'm going to play a clip from Tucker Carlson where he says the same thing. Not that he's the voice of reason on the whole situation, but I'm just saying from my perspective, I've always thought that, these extraterrestrial things that existed were like real, these accounts that people have and pilots and, smart people or whatever that, you hear Donald Trump and other people tell stories about. I've always thought like, okay, those accounts are real, but I have a spiritual perspective and I thought they were angels and demons and they were just catching them doing what they do. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, but moving in ways that humanly is impossible. But,
drones can move like, they can zip all around. That's what we're seeing on this screen over here to the right of the people you're watching. You can see them zipping around. That's what drones do. That's what drones do. At least 25% of my audience voting on this think it's demonic, and 12% think it's alien. Nobody thinks it's angelic right now in the polls. Most people think it's literally just a drone,
spiritually isn't from that perspective. And so, but when I think about angels and demons, I don't think of them on drones. Like I don't think like, there's angels out there that have like, let me just wire these drones together. Like,
the descriptions of angels in the Bible and like what if the Star of Bethlehem was a drone that led the wise man or the wise men to baby Jesus?
I don't think that. And demons are like, hang on, give me a screwdriver. Like, so, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh man,
area. It's in the Middle East. We're obviously.
I don't know how much of this we're gonna get through.
John, there is a lot going on. There's a new headline in the Wall Street Journal today that suggests that the incoming Trump team is considering many options, including airstrikes in Iran, because Iran is working very hard, according to reports, to escalate their ability to make weapons-grade uranium, to move up their calendar because they see everything collapsing around them and they want to secure enough material for nuclear weapons.
Okay, I don't need to keep going that. I want to play the Cuomo clip, and then I'm going to play that one clip out.
Okay, I was going to say, that didn't seem like it had anything to do with the drones, unless you're saying that Iran's sending uranium drones over, which would be freaking crazy.
I was telling you about from Tucker Carlson. So check out what he says.
It'd be nice if that's what we heard out of the White House. You know what I'm saying? And look, I don't think that I think the congressman was a straight shooter there. I just think that there's a little bit more capability and a little bit more concern and a little bit more ease in doing this than's being suggested. How do I know? You're about to find out how. Joining me now is News Nation national security contributor Tracy Walder. We have her very often using her CIA expertise to help us understand cases, but she was also a drone pilot. Okay, so pretty good credential for tonight. And News Nation special correspondent Ross Coulthard, who spends so much time talking to sources on the inside about exactly these kinds of capabilities. He's got a great special that you're going to want to see tomorrow night called Drones Over New Jersey. It's good to have both of you. Now, I don't have any problem with what the congressman just said. I think he did a better job than most people in government I've heard. But Tracy, some of these are big, these drones, like too big to be something that you're buying commercially. And I don't think it's absurd to think that you'd have to run across
According
the field
to who? According to eyewitnesses? Eyewitnesses seeing something in the sky and saying it's this big? These are the same people that see a seagull and say it's a pterodactyl. These are the same people that see Orion's belt and think they're seeing a UFO, and you're going to trust them on the size of the drones they're seeing. I've watched the videos on the side here that they've been playing while they were talking earlier, and none of those drones seemed bigger than a basketball hoop to me. Just my opinion.
Track them to know where they're landing. I mean, they caught the Chinese guy, right? That they just found at the airport.
Right, you're absolutely right, Chris. Thank you so much for having me. And I actually wholeheartedly agree with the congressman. One of the things that sort of piqued my interest about this is he talked about that Picatinny arsenal that's close by, as well as McGuire Air Force Base. One of the things that they recently did this past summer is successfully tested battery-powered fixed-wing aircraft to deliver cargo between bases. And it is a larger type of drone. It looks very much like an airplane, but obviously is a bit smaller. And so part of me wonders if this could be what individuals are seeing. But
if it's the Air Force Base,
it could be, but the thing about the drones in New Jersey is that they show the videos of them, and they're very clearly little commercial drones, like commercially available drones. They're not big scary ones or whatever that people think they are.
And the White House shouldn't be going on to the news saying we don't know what it is. If it's the Air Force Base, they shouldn't be lying to us. They just say, listen, it's our military stuff.
Our point, obviously, as someone who worked in, I guess, the depths of our government at the CIA.
But they know it's not their military stuff. They're saying, hey, we don't know who these belong to. They're just drones, like people are flying around. We think they're residential and commercial if they're not misidentifications.
Hey, I get it. When you feel that the government is not being forthcoming and not being honest, I don't believe these are a threat. It's scary. And I do think they need to come clean with the American people about what these are.
One pushback. I have so much tremendous respect for the amount of expertise you developed to be at the CIA. And I'm not a cynic about government. We need transparency, but I think it's amazing what you were able to do for this country, and I appreciate you for it. I just feel like I want your gut before I go to Ross on, I feel like they have to know more, either because they're doing it or because they know what it is, and they're just saying, yeah, there's nothing to it. But I think the people have moved past accepting that kind of answer.
We're not accepting it. And part of the reason that we're here and we're not accepting it is because the spokesperson from the White House actually just went on Fox News and said they have no idea what it is. And so what does that mean? It's okay for the White House to lie to us? Not anymore.
They know what it is. He did not say that. He said they didn't. He knows what it is. He's very clear that he knows that it's drones. They even mentioned a model number, but he was pretty clear about saying, it looks like it's residential or commercial drones. He didn't say, I don't know what it is. He said, they're not sure who they belong to. And as we've discussed ad nauseum at this point, if they're below a certain weight, they don't have to be registered at all. Apparently people do fly them illegally, which is, that's a thing that happens. It's nothing. It is something for law enforcement to look into, but it's not like a weird conspiracy that the government's covering up or anything. It's like, someone's flying a unregistered commercial or unregistered private drone without registering it with the FFA or whatever. I mean, there's that.
2024, and certainly not in 2025. Transparency is what we demand. Christian 76 says, love being a part of this family. Psalm 91 prayed every day. Amen, amen, amen. We are glad you're here and you've been with us for 11 months. Congratulations, Amy Heights. Thank you so much for that super sticker.
I could not agree with you more. I wholeheartedly agree that they know more about what these are.
Like, look at that. That's
not to tell us. But
what they're showing right there is a little drone. How you've seen these? If you've ever gone to a local baseball game, if you ever gone to a local sporting event or graduation, these things are flying above our heads the whole time now. Like, seriously, these are...
We do think that we have sort of moved past that mentality of people, I guess, being okay with it. When I started at the CIA in 2000, that was an acceptable excuse. Hey, it's not a threat. Let's just move on. And people really did accept that. But we're not at that place right now. People have a lot of distrust in the government, and I do understand why. And I really do think that, look, I get that we shouldn't be giving sort of the top secret intricacies of what this is, but I do think the government needs to give more information.
Yeah, Ross, I see this as such an opportunity for them. I see it as a metaphor. Like, this is the same guy, Mayorkas, who's saying no big deal. It's the same thing he said about the border at the Department of Homeland Security. Submarine just completely exploded the Biden administration's credibility on a very major issue. And this is such a great opportunity for them to say one of the two things. We got people like Walter working here. We know exactly what this is. Certain things you need to know, certain things you don't. Or we don't know. We don't know what some of these things are, and we're going to find out because we see what you're seeing, and who's ever doing... That's
what they said, except for they didn't even say we don't know what they are. They said, we're pretty sure we know what these are. We just don't know who they belong to because they're property of private citizens or private companies, right? It's not that deep, brah.
Doing this, we're saying we're putting a moratorium. You better stop, and if you don't, we're going to catch you like we did the Chinese guy. What do you think from your sources?
Firstly, good evening, Chris. Look, I have to say I vehemently disagree with any assertion that either the FBI or the Defense Department have any clear idea what this phenomenon is over the east coast of the United States. I'm talking to people in the FBI who are utterly baffled by this phenomenon. They tell me they do not know what these objects are. They're not getting answers. I'm told, for example, that these objects are the size of an SUV, a large SUV. So the argument from the congressman that these objects are too small to detect is not correct at all. I'm told that there have been attempts to...
you're told by eyewitnesses that they're this big when they're flying thousands of feet up in the sky. You're being told that, and you just take it at face value, as opposed to the person working with the FBI to investigate these are saying, you know what, they're not showing up on radars. They're not. If you look at the videos, I'm used to looking at videos like this, so I kind of get an idea of scale. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but just the way that they move, the drones move based on their size and mobility, you can kind of get an idea how big they are. Because, physics are consistent.
Interdicts these objects, and that there have been the deployment of anti-drone technology. I've just received information in the last few minutes about the PSEG nuclear site at Salem, which is the Hope Creek Generating Station on a 740-acre site in Salem County, New Jersey. And a person who is privileged enough to have access to the internal messaging about that nuclear station has told me that they tried to deploy an anti-drone technology over multiple drones that were seen over the nuclear site, and that anti-drone technology, which normally works on all drones, completely failed. Moreover, these objects, whatever they are being seen not just on the East Coast, they are being seen all over the world.
Could it be because they're too small to be picked up by the technology, the anti-drone technology, because they're tiny little drones? They're little bitty and small and tiny, and people are just wrong about saying that they're SUV sized? Is that possible? Could that happen? You think so? I think that's more logical, that the technology that's designed to pick up drones when they're within that, again, 0.5 pound to 55 pound range, might not be able to pick up one that's like 9 ounces or whatever. Is that a possibility, you think? And it's the way they bob around in the wind. I guess that's the main thing that sticks out to me.
I'm getting reports from here in Australia, from Japan, Indonesia, China, Russia, Europe.
Hey, thanks for watching. Go to join.
Okay, so it's happening all over the world?
Talk to him. Is that there's some kind of...
Is our whole world about to be invaded? Michelle, thank you so much for that.
Of course, we got to get Joe Rogan and Tucker Carlson in here.
Tucker Carlson says about aliens. Similar topic.
The Joe Rogan experience.
The deeper level is what? Okay, so if they're spiritual beings, which I believe they are, like it's binary. They're either
He thinks they're spiritual.
When you're on team good or team bad, you can assign any name to it you want. But like, what are these things? Are they good or bad? And I think some of them are bad. And if the U.S. government knows that, or elements, the people within the U.S. government,
bad? How? How are they bad, Tucker? What are they doing? They're flying over. They're flying over top of us. That's bad. They should not fly over us. What if they see us? That's not fair. They can fly and we can't. What's the situation here, Tux?
know that, then then they're serving a bad force. And
well, when you say spiritual, like what makes you draw that conclusion that they're spiritual?
Was the obvious? I mean, spiritual may be the wrong word. Supernatural. They're beyond nature as we understand it. I mean, obviously they are. I mean, just chart their physical behavior. It doesn't. It goes outside of what we understand about physics. No visible means of propulsion, coming at indescribable speed, hitting the ocean, continuing at speeds that are impossible undersea. I mean, in other words, if I take a 9mm round 7.62 by 39 and shoot you at 50 yards underwater in a swimming pool, and it's even more intense in salt water because it's denser, you could catch the bullet if it even makes it to you, right? So if you have
no one even suspects that it's the Silver Surfer yet, Aunt Jer. That's the secret.
A craft, any object underwater that's traveling at 500 knots as measured by sonar, right there, you're challenging our understanding of physics. Like, what is that? How can that be? So
they've tracked that. They've tracked things going 500 knots under the sea.
This is the thing about where they're like, he's talking about the videos that were released by of the UAPs. That's what this is about, and a lot of that was like birds, right? And the people were getting excited because they were able to, because the equipment was able to track something that small. And then they like, well, what were they tracking? I don't know. Something flying down into the water and then and then coming back up, maybe with a fish in its mouth. You think so?
Yeah, really. Yeah, much faster than any object can actually go undersea. Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on underwater, and a lot. And there's video of these things coming out of the sky into the water and also emerging from the water.
Right.
Yeah. So
it's all so blurry though.
I don't think it's that
transmedium video.
Yeah, I don't think some of it's that blurry. I think some of it's crystal clear.
We just don't have access to it. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Just we haven't seen it.
Correct.
So they have some stuff
for sure. So, but there's just a lot going on underwater, and it's measured. And so, whatever. I mean, these are all, again, this is like the most obvious observable level of it. But then you just ask yourself, like, what is this actually? And if there's been extensive knowledge of this for decades, like maybe 80 years at least, if not going back to the 30s, 90 years, to what end? So there are two possible explanations, obvious explanations. The first is the one you often hear, which is this is so heavy that if the public were to know about it, it would be just disruptive. It'd be too scary. Like, you don't want to scare people for no good reason. There's nothing we can do about it.
Too late. People are scared.
Right? And you also don't want to suggest that, the U.S. military...
Yeah, you're literally you, guy. You are the reason they're scared. Well, both of you motherfuckers on the screen are why people are scared. And that's your job, is to make people scared, because scared people vote for what you want. They vote for, the government interfering in certain aspects of our lives, like our bedrooms and things like that. But they also want to make sure that you get to keep your guns to shoot at, to shoot at drones, I guess, when they fly over your property. Yeah, why hasn't Jim Bob shot one of these suckers down so we can... I guess I shouldn't say Jim Bob because we're in New Jersey. What's a good Jersey name, guys? Give me a good Jersey name. Why hasn't one of these Jersey boys shot this sucker down?
Isn't capable of protecting the country, the homeland. And it does suggest that. If you can't control these objects in your airspace, and that's known, if they can't, that's known, okay? Then that's just a limit to the power of the U.S. military, and you don't want to tell people that because then they won't believe that they're safe. I get it. But then there's a deeper level.
But if you want to be able to have a drone so you can deliver a pie to grandma up the street, do you want the government tracking your little pie drone? Is that what you want, Tucker? I don't think it is.
Okay, what's your relationship with these things? What is the U.S. government's relationship with these things? And there's evidence that there is a relationship.
Tony, there you go.
It's longstanding, and that raises a lot of questions about intent, and so what is that? And I just personally decided, and people have been hurt by these things. That's a fact. That's a fact. It's a knowable fact. It's a provable fact, and killed. And I'm not saying millions of people have been killed by whatever these things are, but people have been killed, and it's known because it's working its way through the courts out of the VA. So, I don't know, an object that is by definition supernatural. It's above the laws of nature as we understand them. And
on our poll so far, we've actually got some votes for angelic. Somebody thinks the drones are angelic. 6%. 17% say demonic, and 17% say aliens. So aliens and demonic have tied now, but they're literally drones, yo. It's still leading the way with 61% of the vote. That's over half of my audience. Joey would be a good one. Joey, Tony, Maurice. You can call him Mo. Maybe Big Mo.
That has resulted in the deaths of people. But we don't spend enough time thinking about what that adds up to. Not good. Actually, not good.
How many people do you think have died from these things?
I don't know, but
And is it radiation sickness? Is it what's the
so the person that I talked to, I interviewed someone who was a Stanford medical.
Now remember, this is Tucker Carlson, who is attacked in his bed with his wife, sleeping with their 4 dogs, and he's attacked by demons in his sleep. And his evidence are that something scratched him in his sleep. And again, sleeping with his wife and 4 dogs. So credulity is Tucker's bread and butter, but Tucker also thinks that evolution is false. So
school professor who's out there and worth talking to, by the way.
But hey, Tony works.
That's exactly who I'm talking about. He was effectively an expert witness in these cases, so he's an expert in brain injury. Do you know him?
Yeah.
Entirely credible person. Checks all the boxes that I care about. He's got patents, so he's like a lot of Stanford University professors. He's independently rich. He flew to. I live in a remote place, and he flew to my place at his own expense because he wanted to tell the story. So he's got no profit motive here. He's the most highly credentialed person at a university, practically, Stanford Medical School. We consider that a big deal. And he's worked on this for over 10 years, assessing the injuries to U.S. servicemen from being in close proximity to these objects or having contact with these objects. And his conclusion, as you know, because you talked to him, is that there's some kind of energy coming off here that scrambles people's brains or kills them. And it's not exactly radiation.
Oh my gosh, yes. It's 5G. Maybe it's 6G. Ooh, do they turn it up to 6G and scramble people's brains with it? Is a 6G drone going to come and blast Tucker in the head?
At least in his telling to me. So anyway, but the point is, people have died.
Yeah.
And so,
people have died from drones. I don't think that's ever happened to anyone in the world ever.
It does raise a lot of questions about what the hell, right? What the hell? American citizens have died and you're hiding it. Why are you hiding that? Why would you hide that?
Perhaps because they don't have any explanations.
What do you guys think? Do you think what he's saying, that it's possibly a spiritual being, could be true? Put a 1 in the chat if you think it's possible what he's saying, that these things could be spiritual beings.
Because it's so big.
I don't want to see any 1s in this chat. You all better behave. I will turn this hive around.
Beyond our comprehension, that they're still trying to piece it together. I would wonder how much interaction they really do have with these things. If I was from another planet, or if I was some interdimensional being, I don't know how much I'd give a shit about the president. I don't know how.
And sorry for the cursing. I actually checked for cursing before this. but I did not type that word in. So I guess I didn't fully check for cursing.
How much I'd give a shit about the government. Jeez, this bizarre territorial apes with thermonuclear weapons, this very weird species. I'd probably look at them as very chaotic, and I wouldn't really have much concern for who's running it, especially if they have the ability to travel at insane speeds and go undetected. And
well, it depends. Like that. Okay, so the template that you're using to understand this is like science fiction, right? These are an advanced race of beings from somewhere else. But the template that every other society before us has used is a spiritual one. Mm-hmm. There is a whole...
I don't think that they're killing private citizens. So military drones have killed, tens of thousands, probably hundreds of thousands, I'd say, in this year. But I don't think any, like, the drones just flying over people's houses are scrambling their brains, John. I mean, that was my thoughts on it. But yeah, drone strikes are real. But I don't think that's where Tucker's going with this.
World that we can't see that acts on people, the supernatural world that's acting on us all the time for good and bad. Every society has thought this before ours. In fact, every society in all recorded history has thought that until, I'll be specific, August 1945, when we dropped the atom bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And all of a sudden, the West is just officially secular. We're God. There is no God but us. And that's the world that we have grown up in. But that's an anomaly. Like, no one else has ever thought that. There's never been a society that thought that. Every other society has assumed, and they've had all kinds of different explanations, and the details differ. But the core idea does not differ, never has differed from caves until now. That
there have been secular societies. Now, what individual people within those societies believed is variable across continents, but were there people that believed that everything was all natural all the way, since what, the ancient Greek days? There's always been people who were physicalists.
That we're being acted on by spiritual forces at all times. And so to someone born before or living before 1945, I think it would have been much more obvious that this is the thing that every society has written about. And in fact, that battle, that unseen battle around us,
he's missing the point that this is when people started flying in airplanes too, is when we stopped saying that the lights in the sky were angels or whatever, and started saying that they were like technology of some kind, right? That's when, once we got up into the sky, it was when we started having these experiences with this aerial phenomena. Now there's a lot of different phenomena that goes on up there, that pilots may have been experiencing, including things, like I said before, ball lightning and such, that we don't really understand very well how it forms and what causes it and how to detect when we're gonna experience it. But we know that they exist from, we can see the effects of it. But regardless, wouldn't have known that before World War II, when flying planes became the thing, the way forward for humankind.
Spiritual battle has been the basis of every society, of every religion, not just Christianity. So, it just, once you discard your very, very recent assumptions, relatively speaking, about how the world works, you're like, well, that kind of seems like the obvious explanation, right?
Yeah.
He said it seems like the obvious explanation.
That people were stupid, yeah.
I also want to tune into Mike Signorelli, because he actually did it. He's a pastor friend of mine, and he actually did a stream about this tonight as well from a spiritual perspective. Cat Joy, Amy Heights, thank you so much for your amazing support tonight.
For what you've seen. Now, again, this is not fear-mongering. This is not sensationalizing things for clicks or views or likes. But, being a New York City resident myself, and things are just getting weird. Now, I live by JFK and LaGuardia. Matter of fact, if you live in New York City, you're in close proximity to some kind of airport. And so things in the sky are normal to us. Helicopters, all kinds of commercial aircraft, that's normal for us. And so you got to understand, to have New Jersey residents, Staten Island residents, New York City residents uploading footage and being extremely concerned should be concerning to you. And the reason why I say that is because think about this, 10 million residents in New York City metro, we're used to the sounds of normal commercial craft. So when the alarm starts being pulled by New Jersey residents, Staten Island residents, New York City residents.
Yeah, because these are little drones that don't make noise, or they have they're basically like little fans that make them fly and stuff. They're not noisy. They're small. They have LED lights on them that go in all different crazy colors. They're way different than your commercial vehicles. So of course people are going to freak out about them.
Incidents. Y'all should be concerned in the rest of the world.
Yes, like sprites. Thank you. Play all the
because
games.
When we say it's not normal, it's not normal. Okay, so anybody.
I agree with everything he's saying exactly right there.
Any New Yorkers, anybody from New Jersey, can you vouch for me? If you're just joining right now, hit the subscribe button and join my channel so that you never miss a live update. But here's the thing. So John Kirby is the white.
Yeah, that was Tucker's claim that radiation from drones has killed people, and those cases are working through the courts. And then that's just vaguely hand waving towards we don't got any citation on that.
House National Security Communications Advisor, and John Kirby's official statement is like, hey, these are actually just misidentified legal operated manned aircraft. And he, then he's emphasizing that there's no indication of any threat to national security
a lot of
or
them
public
are.
safety. However, some residents, and there's many of them in the comment sections, remain unconvinced by the government's explanation, and people are expressing their frustration. Something's going on. Matter of fact, I just got done listening to a live broadcast from New Jersey government officials who are saying, hey, if this is the U.S. government, if they are flying craft, we need to know. We should be told because
exactly. Why would they not tell
this
them?
could, if it is the government, then we could tell the people if it's our government.
Exactly.
Now, if it's something else, this is where this is.
They did say it's something else. This is not. They're not ours. We think that they're either commercial or residential. And yeah, legal or illegal drones being flown in private airspace. That's what they said. That's what the military said. And it's like, we don't know what they are. You keep implying that. Or these guys keep implying this because they said they don't know where they're coming from. They don't know who's flying them and all this. It's
exactly right. Why would they not? Why have they not come out and said?
Where it gets like really crazy. If it's a foreign government, then and our U.S. government is not providing the protection that they should, then we've got bigger concerns. And so, I want you to look.
Don't you think if they thought it was a foreign government, they would have knocked it down already?
In the night sky here in New York, you can see it right now. Like
because they don't think it's a foreign government. They think it's either again residential or commercial.
In this video, here we go. This video
just said that,
and it's kind of bizarre. It's really bizarre. Now, I've done my best research, and before going live,
I
wanted to make sure that I gave you a biblical, spiritual perspective, and we're going to talk about that because I do believe the Bible does speak about these things. There's many people awakening to the idea: could we be in the end times?
Lord.
Could this? There's a lot of prophecies right now. You see things that are happening in Israel, in Damascus. We've been talking about that. You see the provocation between Russia and Ukraine, the escalation that's happening, and there's a lot of people asking the question like, what is really going on? Project Bluebeam, and you see all these viral memes where people are discussing, could this be a desensitizing before the next thing? And so I want you to look at the video, let me know for yourself, and we're going to have those conversations. Okay, so let me ask you this in the comment section. Are you feeling concerned? Are you worried about this? Is this something, what do you think it is? Because here's the question, and there's even some really concerned United States citizens saying,
I am a concerned United States citizen. Amy Height says our Air Force base notifies
us.
Yeah,
Spooky says, I was watching a news commentary stream and they said people were sending up their drones to look at what was in the sky. Like some feedback loop. Exactly. Like you go and send your drone up to look at their drone and they're like, oh, some UFO just approached my drone. And
when they do night flyovers in the area or drone activity, and so does our sheriff, right? So for whatever reason, if it is the government, they're keeping it secret. If it's not our government, then they've lost their minds. If it is our government and they put their spokesperson...
What do you mean they lost their minds?
...on the news to lie to the American people, they need to be reprimanded.
What did he lie to you about? He said that they didn't know whose they were, but they were looking like they were mostly manned aircraft, residential or commercial drones. They've explained what they are.
That's the way I feel.
That we want to take these things down ourselves.
You feel that way because you want to, Tyler.
And here's the question: what could it be? So let me go through the categories. Everybody, drop a thumbs up right now, especially if you believe that we need some alternative news media to cover these things. But here's what it could be. Now, based on all the study that I've done,
I bet you think you need some alternative news media.
And the amalgamation of all of the different news articles that I've read, as well as other live streams, I've tried to pull it together. And this is what it could be. Number one, it could be manned craft from the U.S. military. And so we know that we've got military bases and installations in New Jersey, New York City. And so it could be manned craft by the U.S. military. Here's where it gets weird, though. Why would they not tell us that? Okay, so you take a look at the video and you tell me if it is manned craft, because these are like larger craft that are being identified, then why would our U.S. government not tell us? Now, of course, there's always a veil of secrecy in our U.S. military and installations, and they don't have to tell us everything. But at the same time, why wouldn't they with this level of concern? Okay, I don't know if you guys can see the video here. What are the things that are Yeah, come on. Now, some people in the comments sections are giving some wild suggestions, but let me just go with the major ones. So, number one, these large craft that people are seeing over their residences in New Jersey and New York and other places of the U.S. Okay, it's military craft, manned or unmanned. Okay, that's number one. Number two, could it be? Now, I want to show you this. Okay, hold on now. This just you just jog my memory, okay? And because I want to show you something, and then you guys can decide with me.
I want to decide.
Matter of fact, I just pulled this up earlier, so give me a second. I'm going to pull this up right now. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button so that you can stay up to date. I'm here in New York City right now. We're talking about this thing, but I want to show you something that I found from the Department of Defense. Okay, and so I actually saw this earlier today. Okay, now this is, if you go to the Department of Defense website, and you can see it here on the screen, it says sensors, receivers, and ordnance. Oh my, drones carry it all. Now, go ahead, fact check me on this. You can go to the Department of Defense site for yourself. Matter of fact, you can see down at the bottom of this screenshot.
I don't think these are military, though. I mean, that's just my opinion, of course, but I don't think they're military.
Okay, and I'm also going to be showing you some footage of something that I captured while I was recently in DC, and then you can kind of decide for yourself there. But look at the defense.gov screenshot. Now this is an article. It said sensors, receivers, and ordinances. Oh my, drones carry it all. Unmanned systems help U.S. service members gain realistic training experience, test equipment, and so much more. But how much do you know about the military's drones? So I just want to start with this. Okay, now we're going to be talking about foreign government craft.
He just sped him up.
In U.S. airspace. We're gonna, now here's one thing I'll rule out before I even say anything else. Let's just go ahead and rule out commercial or recreational craft, because these things are too big.
Yeah, of course, rule that out. Why rule out what it actually is and what the government said it was, and what the people who investigated said it was? Because you don't like that answer.
To be recreational craft, and to be honest with you, some of it might be commercial craft. Like
nothing you've shown looks too big to be recreational craft, my dude. My dude.
Or just heavy duty drones, things that are used for filming and things of that nature. And so of course we can't rule that out. Not everything that people are capturing is like legitimate. It's just sometimes people never paid attention to it the first time they did. They took a video, they think they saw something. Like, let's be fair, let's be intellectual about this. But at the same time, we're talking about thousands of reports, thousands of videos that you can see on social media, and we've got to have a very serious.
And you're like, I want to rule out what it actually is so I can stick some conspiracies in here. I want to rule out what they said it was, because it can't be residential or commercial, because that doesn't fit with what I want it to be. I don't know. What's your point? Why? And again, it doesn't matter if they're legal or illegal. The main thing is that they're going to be residential and privately owned. I mean, not to say that there aren't drones being handled by Chinese nationals flying over government facilities or Air Force bases or whatever, taking videos, right? But the majority of what we're seeing here flying over is just some dude in his backyard with his drone. Like, they even got the flashy, like, disco light colors and stuff. Like, do you think that a Chinese spy drone is going to be up there blinking green and purple and strobe lights? Do you think that's that's what the way that the spies are going to spy on us with strobe lights? Come on now.
And so if you agree with me that this is not just recreational craft, commercial or recreational craft, hit the thumbs up right now as a sign. Let me just see that and just kind of get a vote going. So then it sort of leaves us with, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, and I want to know what you think in the comments, it sort of leaves us with now just a handful of options. One would be U.S. military craft, manned or unmanned. Two would be foreign government, manned or unmanned craft, which is majorly concerning. And then three would be some sort of anomalous spiritual thing. And I want to talk to you about that, because some of you are like, oh,
or the one that the option is actually the one that you've ruled out already.
I get it. This guy's crazy. He's a preacher. He's a pastor. He's some sort of Christian or something. Oh, let me click out of this video. No, wait. Why don't you wait before you click out? Because even renowned astrophysicists like Dr. Hugh Ross have said that some of these craft, as they've been legitimately filmed, are doing maneuvers so fast that there should be a sonic boom. And why isn't there a sonic boom? Because those are the laws of known science. And then number two, they're turning at right angles and they're doing
the laws of known science, because they're little drones that are zipping around, like, they're little bitty. They're not big planes moving at the speed of sound. They're just not. They're not. Some of the stuff that they thought was drones on the UAP stuff that the CIA released was birds. Like bird scientists have looked at these and said, yeah, that's some birds.
Various different things that could be drones, but the speed of it is faster than commercial or recreational craft that we know about, and that could be the result of it being interdimensional. And for those of you who are like, Mike just lost his mind, he's talking about interdimensional craft on YouTube. Let me just tell you what science calls interdimensional, what some astrophysicists call interdimensional, could the Bible have called it spiritual? And what does the Bible talk about? If you love these conversations, because I love these conversations, I want you to tap the subscribe button right now and join this channel. So hit subscribe right now. But because I love this stuff, and we're gonna talk about it. I'm going there today. Stay with me and hit the subscribe button, because I've been tracking this.
really want to hit the subscribe button here if you want me to keep your finger on the pulse of this nonsense. Subscribe, and I will keep you informed on the grift that the fear mongering. You know, I honestly wouldn't be surprised to find out that these were like SpaceX craft that Tesla had released to scare people into giving up their freedom. That would be if there's any kind of conspiracy, that'd be the one I'd believe the most. That this was like a Musk Trump conspiracy to to make their own base scared by like sending like basic drones up and saying scary
day by day. Okay, so if you go to the Department of Defense website, it will tell you that there are sensors, receivers, ordinances. Oh my, that's the topic here. Drones carry it all. And, there's unmanned systems that help the U.S. service members gain realistic training experience. But here's the thing. Okay, so I want to flesh out each one of these things it could be. And then you're going to remember being on this broadcast and you're going to say, wow, Mike Signorelli was live from New York. We were looking at footage of possible things in the sky. He was going through the evidence and he called it. So, but I'm going to machine gun it. It could be multiple things. So stay with me, okay? And I want to get to meet you in the comment section.
Oh, we're over 3 hours
I'm going to
already.
put a link to Mike's video in the chat if any of you want to finish watching that. It actually goes on for like an hour and a half. What I want to do since it is Faith Friday is actually share this scripture with you out of 1 Peter.
All right, we're not doing scripture. Sorry, bud. All right, that was a Tyler Feller. This feller is a fearmonger. And the drone stuff, what are the drones? In my opinion, with the evidence available to me, is that these drones are mostly commercial, privately operated, recreational, and residential drones, right? And I say residential, I guess I mean recreational, like ones that people can buy at sporting goods store that are under the weight capacity that they can fly it just around their neighborhood without having to register it with the FFA, right? So those things considered, that's why I think the majority of these are. Did I see any of these that looked like they were the size of SUVs like they were claiming? No, none of them looked that big to me. You're gonna have to bring evidence that there's SUV-sized drones flying around above us before I'm going to believe it. I do believe that there are softball-sized drones flying around above us, and some of them as big as up to the size of a trash can lid that can be flown without registering them. They get about that big, and they all kinds of LEDs of all the colors of the rainbow, and they don't look like commercial craft. So yeah, people seeing those are gonna be like, whoa, what the? But this is the second time this year that we've had drones over a city make people lose their shit. It's crazy. Yeah, don't shoot down Jesus. Tyler Feller. That Tyler Feller, he's a wild one. By the way, I slapped the like button, so if you haven't, get to it. Yeah, like for real, slap the like button underneath my video, and let me know you love me. All right, so that's been the weird with it for today. More drone nonsense. Who would have thought? Do you think that the drones are demonic, alien, or angelic? Let me know in the comments down below, and please remember to be kind. Take care, and we will see you next time. All right, we've gone way over. I don't have time for a Breeze Beast theory today, actually. I will show you what's gonna be on Breeze Beast theory when I do it on Christmas Day for the marathon. We're going to be doing this. We're going to be ranking the 12 days of Christmas animals and peoples, and of course rings. The only one that's inanimate objects. The only one that's not a sentient being is the 5 rings, and we'll deal with that when we get to it. But we'll talk about husbandry for all these different species and see what we need to facilitate them. Should be a fun show. And then, yeah, it looks like we are going to be talking about the Minnesota Iceman for that episode's Cryptic Corner, which I'm excited to do. But yeah, it's going to be a shorter show, but I'll try to squeeze everything in. We probably won't do a weird with it. We'll probably just do the Minnesota Iceman and then do the 5 days of Christmas, or the 12 days of Christmas. That's the plan. But I'm going to go ahead and swim away like a good mermaid. flap my little mermaid tail, and then disappear beneath the waves. Now, as for you people out there, I want you to remember to be kind and to take care. And yeah, no bestiary today. We just didn't have. We're over time now. We're at 3 hours. I think I'm sending everybody to. Let's see. Settings. Hold on. That's not what I wanted to do. Close that. Customization. Here we go. We're going to redirect everybody to what's live right now. We got R and Raw. That's about all I'm seeing, really. Anything live? Yeah, I'm gonna send you all over to RN's. You can bound to the Blasphemer's Bible. Yeah, that's where we're gonna redirect to. So, yeah, don't worry though. I got an early episode coming, so we're gonna have 2 episodes this coming week of Live from the Hive. So do not fret. There will be one on Wednesday, and then there will be one on Saturday next week. So, and of course, we have the transpositions as well. All right. Be kind. Take care. We will see you next time.
What I'm about to teach you is going to surprise the socks off of you. Who is St. Nicholas? I'm about to show you who it really is, and it's going to shock you. Nick is a name for the devil.
Could it be Satan?
St. Nick is another name for Satan.
Satan!
Satan?
Satan!
St. Nick ain't no saint, is he? He's Satan Nick.
Satan!
This Santa Claus, or is it Satan Claus? That word Santa looks a lot like the word Satan. All you have to do is take the N out and put it on the end, and you've got Satan. Who is Santa Claus? He's the devil. It's the devil. Devil! He's the devil! The devil! Devil! He's the devil.
Could it be Satan?
Satan!
Satan!
Satan is Santa Claus. He loves to put children in hell. Ho, 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 ho! Ho, ho, ho! He knows if you've been good or bad. Santa Claus, you sit on a throne of lies. Ho, 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 ho! Liar! I want nothing to do with Satan Claus.
Could it be
Satan?
Satan!
Satan! So there it is. Hope you enjoyed this message. Yes!